Your dad is a martial god. Your mom is also a martial god. Even the maid massaging you is an SSS-Rank genius. Yet you awakened the lowest D-rank talent. This caused your cultivation to fall far behind your peers. But you didn't care at all. You even scoffed at it, because even if they cultivated for a lifetime, they could only end up as guards at your house. You were born to be the master of the Heavenly Palace. However, when you were 38, various mutated beasts invaded the blue planet. Your father was besieged and killed by the beasts. Your family was completely wiped out. At 60, the villain redemption system finally arrived, but you no longer had the strength to do anything. So you found a stroke of luck and decided to restart. Opening your eyes again, not only had you returned to being 18, but the system also activated 60 years early. In front of you was still the maid massaging you. After 30 years, meeting an old friend again, your former personal servant couldn't stand your torment and eventually left. Now, she has already become an 8th-tier martial lord. You knew you were sorry and decided to apologize sincerely. Mission reward, God-ranked talent, Black Emperor. You didn't expect that the maid in front of you would actually be an 8th-tier martial lord in the future, and you definitely didn't expect the reward to be a God-ranked talent. So you immediately apologized. Hua Ziyue, I'm sorry. All these years, I've been worse than a beast. It's fine, master. Wait, what kind of conditioning is this? I sincerely feel that I was wrong in the past. I wasn't human. I never considered anyone else's feelings. Please give me a chance, okay? It's really fine. I know the young master is a good kid, just a bit hot-tempered. Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Distributing reward. God-rank talent, Black Emperor. Possesses an eternal, unchanging physical body. Can devour all spiritual energy and convert it into your own power. Naturally suppresses any other talent. The next second, your realm instantly reached the 8th level of the 1st tier. Just as you were immersed in the shock of this new power. Young master, are we going home now, or do you want to play with my feet a little longer? That's way too beastly. How could a gentleman like me do such a thing? Let's play a little longer. Hua Ziyue's face flushed red. Just as she was preparing for the next step, the door to the private room was suddenly kicked open. A man swaggered in. Yo, this young master is having quite the thrilling time. How about swapping your maid with mine? Xu Zhengyang was the younger brother of this club's boss. You narrowed your eyes. In the imperial capital, someone actually dared to speak to you like this? At this moment, Xu Zhengyang clearly didn't know who you were. He just thought the other party was just another womanizing prodigal son. Do you know who runs this club? Hurry up, or I'll make sure you never step foot in here again. Before he could finish his sentence, his body instantly flew sideways. Crashing onto the floor, Xu Zhengyang was completely dazed. Someone dared to hit me here? I didn't want to get physical, but I was afraid you'd enjoy it if Ziyue slapped you. After all, what arrives before the slap is the faint fragrance of a young girl's fingertips. Young master. Is he standing up for me? Although she was just your maid, she possessed an SSS-Rank talent. Her cultivation was naturally not weak either. She keenly noticed one thing. Since when did the young master's speed become so fast? Then do you know who I am? Normally, someone of your level has no right to speak to me, but I'll give you a chance to cross class boundaries and court death. The commotion over here had already attracted the crowd in the club's corridor. Many guests poked their heads out to look. Isn't that the second young master of the XU family? He actually got hit. Wait, why do I feel like the guy who hit him looks a bit familiar? Xu Zhengyang was completely furious. He could clearly sense that your cultivation was only at the 8th level of the 1st tier. Meanwhile, he had already stepped into the peak of the 1st tier. Just as your next strike was about to hit, Xu Zhengyang abruptly retreated, narrowly dodging it. Good thing my talent is mind reading. I can predict your movements. Now let's see how you beat me. Beat you? Beat this. Your mind instantly echoed with countless curses, giving the opponent absolutely no combat intentions to predict. Before Xu Zhengyang could react, 3 more slaps landed. Stop hitting me! Stop hitting me! At this moment, not only was his body severely injured, his spirit also took a massive blow. Right then, an authoritative, angry shout rang out. Stop hearing this voice! The crowd quickly parted on their own. A cold-faced man strode over. It was none other than Xu Zhengyang's older brother, Xu Hai. He originally came to save his brother, but when he got a clear look at your face, his face instantly turned deathly pale. Holy crap, it's this lord, bro. Hurry and save me. He actually dared to hit me. Break one of his legs, little Ixu. Didn't I say no one is allowed into my private room? Is this how you handle things? Little Ixu. Not only was everyone stunned, even Eshu Zhengyang was dumbfounded. He watched as his usually majestic older brother actually dropped straight to his knees with a thud. I'm sorry, young master. Yay, it's my fault. In an instant, the entire crowd exploded in an uproar. Holy shit! Young master, yeah. Did he just kick an iron plate? He's that Ye Xiaoguo. Xu Zhengyang finally realized something, and his face instantly turned pale. Kneel down already. Xu Zhengyang immediately knelt on the floor, trembling all over. Do you know why I hit him? How could Shu Hai dare to say he knew? It was definitely because his blind younger brother had ruined this great young master's mood. Because in my entire life, I can't stand seeing people bully men and oppress women. The moment I saw your brother acting like this, I got mad. Everyone else was dumbfounded. Wait, you can't stand it? You do it every day, all right? Shu Hai's forehead was covered in heavy sweat. In the past, as long as he offered a few words of flattery and gave some benefits, this great young master would usually be too lazy to pursue the matter. It should be the same this time, right? Thinking of this, Shu Hai hurriedly squeezed out a smile. Young Master Yi, it's my brother. He has eyes but failed to see me at Tai. He offended you. How about this? From now on, whenever you come to our club, I'll give you a supreme black card. All your expenses will be completely free. A top-tier private room will always be reserved for you. This prodigal son loved coming here to play the most. Giving him a bit more sweetness would definitely smooth things over. Damn. That good? Of course, no rush. Do you take me for a beggar? Now I'm telling you to cripple him. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll turn this trashy club of yours into a public toilet. Trying to brush me off with a single black card? Damn it. Which official couldn't withstand such a test? Shu Hai's face turned white. The prodigal son who used to only care about pleasure and could be fooled with casual benefits was actually so ruthless and decisive today. Shu Hai gritted his teeth, a flash of ruthlessness crossing his eyes. If this continued, let alone this club, the entire Xu family would be finished. He slammed a palm onto Xu Zhengyang's dantian, instantly shattering his qi. Xu Zhengyang's entire cultivation was completely crippled, yet Shu Hai didn't dare to stop. He hurriedly slapped himself hard a few times. Young Master Ye, please forgive me. Remember, don't let the Xu family get too cocky. The imperial capital doesn't need a family more arrogant than the Yi family. After saying that, you walked straight out, taking the starry-eyed Hua Ziyue with you. Shu Hai remained kneeling on the spot, his entire body soaked in cold sweat. This eldest young master of the Yi family had become different. Yu and Hua Ziyue walked out the main doors. A dark red supercar was already parked at the entrance. The next moment, the supercar roared like a wild beast and charged into the night. In the car, Hua Ziyue finally couldn't help but speak. Young master seems to have changed. In what way? Both your strength and speed have changed. You have to know, the former young master could never have slapped away a first tier. Peak level Xu Zhengyang. Forget it. Just massage my shoulders. But my hands are a bit sore. No, and my feet too. Half an hour later. The Yi family mansion. The supercar slowly stopped in front of a magnificent mansion. However, before the two of you could even get out of the car, an irritable, furious roar came from inside the mansion. Yuantian. Well, just pretend I don't have this son. 2 whole days without coming home. If he comes back, I'll definitely break his legs. The voice was so loud, it made the tiles on the courtyard walls vibrate. Hearing your own father raging, you couldn't help but stop in your tracks. Right at this moment, text appeared before your eyes. You thought of your formidable martial god father. Feeling it's a tricky situation, you haven't let him see your current changes. Issuing mission, gain his acknowledgement. Mission reward, mysterious cultivation technique. Pitch black blazing sun. At this moment, listening to the commotion inside, you fell into deep thought. No way, man. My dad hasn't died yet. Young master, the family head seems angry. Should we avoid him for now? Avoid his edge. Now is the perfect opportunity to complete the mission. So you swaggered straight into the mansion. Hua Ziyue was dumbfounded. Wasn't the young master most afraid of the family head? In the mansion's main hall, Ye Yuantian stood in the center, his face gloomy. Rebellious son, you still know how to come back? What have you been doing these past 2 days? He was almost mad to death. He, A dignified martial god. How did he give birth to such a son? I went to cultivate. You went to. What did you say? Ye Yuantian was just about to explode when he suddenly heard this sentence and was instantly stunned. Cultivate? What an unfamiliar word. Are you bullshitting me? I'd rather believe the ancestral graves exploded than believe you actually went to cultivate, Dad. I really did cultivate. Stop spouting nonsense. Do you know how many people are complaining right now? Saying you're bullying men and oppressing women and breaking people's legs at the drop of a hat? What? Who's spreading rumors? Let me find him, and I'll definitely break his legs. A question mark slowly appeared above Ye Yuantian's head. Just as Ye Yuantian was about to continue scolding, your aura suddenly surged. The spiritual energy fluctuations of the 8th level of the first tier were released without reservation. Feeling your improved cultivation, this imperial capital martial god didn't rejoice immediately. Instead, his pupils shrank drastically, and he abruptly stood up. Oh no, the ancestral graves, a question mark also slowly appeared above your head. Mission completed. God rank technique, pitch black blazing sun. Inside the IE mansion's main hall, the two of you stared at each other. Ye Yuantian took a deep breath and instantly swept his powerful divine sense toward the IE family's ancestral graves. After confirming there was nothing unusual, he relaxed. You really went to cultivate? But how did your cultivation suddenly improve so much? It's only been 2 days, right? Dad, I've been in secluded bitter cultivation these past 2 days. You were in seclusion at a massage and karaoke joint? You muttered in your heart. You even knew about that? Your whereabouts were definitely known like the back of his hand by your father, Ye Yuantian. But for his own son to actually go to that kind of place for seclusion. Foot massage is also a dial. You couldn't help but sigh as you caught a glimpse of the newly acquired pitch-black blazing sun from the corner of your eye. Pitch-black blazing sun. After cultivating, your blood can heal any injury. The pitch-black flames can incinerate all things. At full mastery, it can even affect the sun's trajectory. Truly worthy of being a god-rank technique. Originally, the system's mission to resurrect Ye Yuantian would have been extremely difficult. You didn't expect that the Ye Yuantian in reality wasn't dead at all. It suddenly became countless times easier. At this moment, Ye Yuantian was still half skeptical. He knew his son too well. With a D-rank talent, logically speaking, even with a week of bitter cultivation, he might not necessarily break through to the 8th level of the first tier. Suddenly, Ye Yuantian thought of something, and his face changed. Did you use some kind of pill to forcefully raise your cultivation? Although those pills can temporarily raise your realm, they will damage your foundation. The loss outweighs the gain. Dad, what are you talking about? Am I really just a trash who only knows how to play around in your eyes? Do you still not have a clear understanding of yourself? You cursed inwardly. The mess left behind from your past life was truly too hard to clean up, so you decided to tell a lie. Dad, actually, my talent evolved. Ye Yuantian's pupils shrank. After reacting, he immediately raised his hand and pressed it on your shoulder. Majestic spiritual energy instantly probed into your meridians. His originally stern expression instantly froze, replaced by unconcealable shock. How could it have gotten so much stronger? Ye Yuantian naturally knew that talents could evolve, but your situation had completely exceeded common sense. It was simply like an ant turning into an azure dragon, soaring through the 9 heavens. Dad, if you still don't believe me, then I'll cultivate right in front of you. Yeah. Yuantian took a deep breath, his eyes complex. This was the first time he looked with the gaze meant for a genius, at the child who was once so disappointing. He abruptly snapped his fingers. Space distorted, and the surrounding scenery instantly changed. In the blink of an eye, the father and son were already inside a cultivation room. The dense spiritual energy all around had almost condensed into liquid, slowly flowing through the air. The spiritual energy here, you couldn't use up in 100 years. You just need to raise your realm by 1 level, and Dad will believe you. Actually, Ye Yuantian already believed it, but he just wanted to see what you looked like when cultivating. You didn't say much. You simply sat cross-legged and circulated the pitch-black blazing sun. In an instant, pitch-black flames erupted from within your body, like a demonic dragon awakening from the abyss, instantly sweeping across the entire cultivation room. What kind of technique is this flame? Even he had never seen it before. The pitch-black flames were like a greedy beast, frantically devouring the spiritual energy in the cultivation room. then turning into a rolling torrent that surged into your body. Immediately after, your realm began to skyrocket madly. Ninth level of the first tier, peak of the first tier, Yeyuantian was dumbfounded. It had only been a few seconds, and at this time, your cultivation was still rising. First level of the second tier, only then did that terrifying promotion speed slowly come to a halt? Old man, how about that? Were you freaking possessed? His bastard son went to a club for 2 days and ended up becoming a genius? Immediately after, Yeyuantian suddenly thought of something. He clapped his hands. 3 figures flashed into existence, like ghosts. These 3 were dressed in black outfits. All of them were third-tier experts, family head. When they looked up and saw you, a trace of imperceptible disdain flashed in their eyes. Young master, after all, everyone knew your reputation. No one would like a guy like this. You keenly caught the disdain in their eyes. Right at this moment, system text suddenly appeared before your eyes. You encountered former family guards. Now, they are all 8th-tier experts. They have long lost respect for you, the young master. Mission issued, regain their respect. Mission reward, God rank, talent. Heavenly thunder. God, a golden light flashed in your eyes. Let me see your rebirth. These 3 were all geniuses capable of fighting above their tier. If the 3 joined forces, they could defeat a late-stage, third-tier expert. Yeyuantian knew you couldn't beat them, but he wanted to see where his son's limits lay. The 3 guards exchanged a glance. They clearly understood something. Opportunities to teach this prodigal son a lesson didn't come every day. Young master, pardon our offense. Although they were respectful in speech, their eyes clearly said, "Who doesn't know how weak you are? Let's see how many moves you can last. You guys aren't convinced?" The 3 were stunned. Before they could react, your Black Emperor aura explosively erupted. The ground shattered. Your figure instantly vanished. The leading guard turned pale with fright. Before he could react, his throat was already gripped by a palm radiating scorching heat. Seeing this, the other 2 hurriedly moved to rescue him. At this moment, an imperial pressure like Mount Tai crashed down on them. "Kneel!" The 2 instantly turned pale, their legs uncontrollably dropping to their knees. They couldn't even move a single finger. With a punch, the choked guard was sent flying backward, crashing heavily into the wall. The entire room fell dead silent. Yeyuantian looked at everything before him in disbelief. 3 guards of the same realm were actually instantly defeated. At this time, the 3 fallen guards looked at you with difficulty. Was this still the young master of the I family? Why had he become so powerful? Mission completed. Acquired God rank talent, Heavenly Thunder. God, King of myriad thunders, command thunder like a god. Wherever it strikes, only ashes remain. You looked at the text appearing before your eyes. You didn't expect it to be this simple, to obtain another God rank talent. Right at this moment, come here, let your father take another look at your talent. You nodded and stepped forward, allowing Yeyuantian's hand to press on your shoulder. A terrifying spiritual energy probed into your body. Yeyuantian was shocked to discover that your meridians were as tough as dragon sinews, and your bone density was comparable to black iron. When he continued deeper, a terrifying imperial pressure suddenly rebounded. Yeyuantian hurriedly withdrew his hand, golden light flashing wildly in his eyes. Ha ha ha! Heaven blesses my Yi family. My Yi family is going to produce a true dragon. This highly experienced Yi family head suddenly threw his head back and laughed heartily. This talent was probably even more terrifying than that girl Huazui's SSS-Rank combined with above. However, he really couldn't figure out how his prodigal son, who spent all day lingering in red light districts, had suddenly been completely reborn. Could it be that he really comprehended the great Tao through foot massages? Yeyuantian then put on a serious face. Right, you haven't been back to school in a long time. Since your talent has evolved so well, why not go back to school? You were stunned, then remembered that ever since awakening a D-rank talent, you had suffered a huge blow and spent all day outside drinking and womanizing. I've transferred you to Imperial Capital First High. The principal there is my friend. Go there and temper yourself well. Don't run off to red light districts all day. After all, no matter what, you are the young master of the I family. All right. You agreed without hesitation, which instead made Yeyuantian freeze. He originally thought he'd have to waste a lot of breath. It seemed his son had truly changed this time. Going to a place like school, where geniuses gathered, would definitely make it easier to trigger missions. After you left, the smile on Yeyuantian's face gradually faded. King Feng. A dark shadow appeared in the hall. Family head, the Ye family's hidden guard. Commander, Kang Feng, an 8th-tier martial lord. This expert had been secretly protecting you for years. It's been hard on you, protecting that prodigal son. Kang Feng shook his head. No matter what the young master is like, this subordinate will follow him to the death. As the IE family's most loyal hidden guard, no matter how many absurd things you did, he would only silently protect you. Ye Yu and Taiyan's gaze was complex. However, my son really seems different this time. The young master has always been a true dragon. Sooner or later, there would be a day he takes flight. Go and bring the Phoenix Bloodheart. I want to forge an indestructible foundation for my son and temper a divine body of 1,000 lifetimes. My son will definitely become a martial god. Meanwhile, on the other side, on your way to Imperial Capital First High. In the entire Imperial Capital, the Aya family was the strongest existence. The other three major families were the Bai family of the Demon Capital, the Gaio family of the Northern Borders, and the Hui family of Jinling. Among the four major families, only you and the Bai family's daughter were only children, but you were also the most useless trash. In contrast, the one with monstrous talent was that girl from the Bai family. You arrived at First High. At the school gate, you took out your phone, just about to call the vice principal, when you suddenly heard a commotion nearby. Damn, she's way too beautiful. Since when did our school have such a top-tier girl? These looks, this temperament, she's a goddess. You saw a young girl standing at the school gate. Her black hair cascaded like a waterfall, and her peach blossom eyes sparkled with every glance. You raised an eyebrow, then walked over. Seeing this, the surrounding students watching the spectacle immediately started whispering, "What is that guy trying to do? Don't tell me he wants to hit on her. He's pretty handsome, I guess, but his cultivation seems to only be at the second tier." Just as everyone was waiting to see a joke, the girl suddenly dashed forward and threw herself straight into your arms. "Why didn't you wait for me? I missed you so much." The entire crowd instantly fell dead silent. You looked down at Hua Ziyue, acting spoiled in your arms, the corner of your eye twitching slightly. "I applied with the family head, saying I could accompany the young master to school. After all, my talent isn't bad either." You instantly understood. This girl most likely brought up her rank talent to make your old man relent. Holy shit, what's that guy's background? Why does he get to hold such a top-tier babe? Countless jealous gazes shot over like knives. Let's go in and register." Huaziyu nodded obediently. Just as she was about to follow, a figure walked over briskly. He first greedily scanned Huaziyue's figure, then showed a look of disdain towards you. "Who are you? This is Imperial Capital. First High. Idle personnel are forbidden from entering. Looking at your shabby appearance, are you from some third-rate academy trying to leech off our resources?" You narrowed your eyes. At this moment, the people around subconsciously looked over. Some gloated, already planning to watch a good show. You have to know, this guy usually loved making things difficult for others. Hua Ziyue was just about to speak, but was interrupted by you. "Are you talking to me? Who else? Who else is here besides you? That looks like they sneaked in. Hurry up and take out your student ID. If you don't have one, get the hell out of the school. I don't have a student ID, then get lost. Don't waste my..." Before he could finish his sentence, his entire body was slapped flying. "I originally wanted to be a good person, but when others want to step on you, reasoning is useless." Since that's the case, he could only choose between being a good person and an evil young master, and be a good evil young master. "You dare hit me? Do you know who I am?" You were too lazy to listen to his nonsense. You directly took out your phone. Your vice principal's phone number. "Are you kidding me? Why would I have the vice principal's? I'm telling you to answer the phone." The disciplinary committee member's brain short-circuited for a second. He subconsciously took the phone. When a deep voice came from the other end of the line, his face instantly turned deathly pale. Yes, it's the vice principal. I understand. I'm sorry. I'll handle it right away." The look in his eyes as he looked at you had already changed from contempt to fear. This person was actually the young master of that family. Why would he come to school? You reached out and took the phone back. "Hello, vice principal." Ha ha ha. A hearty laugh came from the other side. "The principal is away recently. Family head has already told me. Please wait for me a moment. I'll come find you as soon as I'm done." Actually, he couldn't figure it out either. Why? Did Family Head you suddenly want to send his son over? With his D-rank talent, cultivating was simply a waste of time. Although he had doubts in his heart, this vice principal obviously had no need to pry. After hanging up the phone, the disciplinary committee member was sweating profusely. "I'm sorry I had eyes but failed to recognize Mat Tai. Please forgive." You nodded and then threw out another slap. The surrounding students were completely dumbfounded. Let's go in and see just how amazing this so-called imperial capital first high is." Huaziyue smiled, then followed after you. On the way, you spoke slowly. "Are all schools in the imperial capital like this? Most of the people here are children of aristocratic families. Some are used to bullying others with their power. After all, in the imperial capital, those who can come here are all from major families. I just hate people who use their background to suppress others." "How do they suppress?" "No way, man. The wheels are practically rolling over my face." Right at this moment, a harsh, mocking laugh came from the distance. "A commoner is worthy of attending imperial capital first high?" You saw two people blocking a black-haired girl. There were cuts on her pale face, but strangely, there was no fear in her eyes. After so many years, you once again saw the great love immortal. Once, she was a dragon you looked down upon, but you only found out later that she was actually a girl. Meeting again, although she was a 9th-tier martial god, she was already heavily injured and was actually being powerfully besieged. Mission issued. Help teach them a lesson. Mission reward. Dao Bone of Destiny. When you saw this text, you suddenly froze. That bullied young girl was the future empress at the same time in the center of the crowd. I've been reborn. Indeed, heaven never seals off all paths. Fang Ningbing slowly raised her eyes, subconsciously looking down at her unfamiliar hands. There weren't the countless scars from the hardships of her past life, but she was still alive. A tremendous ecstasy welled up in Fang Ningbing's heart. She was originally a peerless empress who suppressed an entire era, but perished under the heavenly tribulation while attempting to break through to the 10th tier. Right before dying, she used a space-time secret treasure. She didn't expect that upon opening her eyes again, she would actually possess the body of this ordinary girl with the same name. I didn't expect it to actually succeed. I actually didn't die. I can plunder again. I can spread great love again. Someone like you should just honestly be a fish waiting to be slaughtered. Su Xinqi still thought. The other party was scared and spoke mockingly. Fang Ningbing looked at the two people in front of her and instantly understood what was going on. The Su Xinqi and Xiao Chen in front of her were the two who troubled her the most. The cause was nothing more than accidentally knocking over Su Xinqi's textbook last month. As a result, she had been constantly cornered by them. Today was the 4th time this month. "You're right, I really do want to be a fish." She slowly took a step forward, and a sense of oppression arose. "Unfortunately, the fish I want to be is one that swims against the current." Before her voice faded, she abruptly raised her hand and grabbed Su Xinqi's wrist. Su Xinqi let out a miserable, pig-slaughtering scream of pain. The surrounding students gasped. Fang Ningbing actually dared to fight back Xinko. At this time, Xiao Chen hurriedly made a move. Fang Ningbing immediately dodged, feeling the opponent's 2nd-tier peak cultivation, and knowing her own cultivation was only at the 5th level of the 2nd tier right now. Dealing with Xiao Chen might be a bit tricky. "Brother Xiao, teach her a lesson for me." "Stop! Oi! Oi!" A woman's tears are the most bitter. What kind of skill is it to bully a woman? Who is this guy? He dares to meddle in Xiao Chen's business? He's done for. He's done for. He's definitely dead. You have to know, last time someone accidentally provoked Xiao Chen, not only were they expelled, but one night, their dantian was suddenly crippled. Fang Ningbing frowned slightly, sizing up this suddenly appearing young man. "Who is he?" Xiao Chen narrowed his eyes. "Who are you?" "In my life, what I can't stand the most is bullying the weak." In the distance, Huaziyue face-palmed and sighed. What is the young master doing? He's clearly the biggest bully himself. Where did this trash come from? Do you know who Brother Xiao is? He's the son of the Xiao family head. If you know what's good for you, crawl away immediately. So, it's the Xiao family. In his memories, the Xiao family was indeed a major family, but they were nothing more than nouveau riche who rose up by licking the Ai family's boots. So? And then, he originally wanted to scare you out of your wits by hearing the Xiao family's name, but seeing your reaction, it suddenly made Xiao Chen's heart tighten to hear the Xiao family's name in the imperial capital and still be so calm. Xiao Chen's tone softened a bit. "This is a private matter between us. Please, private matter. Bullying a female classmate in front of so many people, you call this a private matter. If she's being bullied, why doesn't she look for the reason within herself? Makes sense. But you're ugly. Why don't you look for the reason within yourself? Fang Ningbing's eyes lit up. This kid has demonic, great love temperament. Friend, don't go too far. So what? What can you do about it? Xiao Chen finally couldn't bear it anymore. His figure violently shot forward. His right fist, carrying pale cyan spiritual energy, aimed straight for your face. This move, Cyan Dragon Exploring the Sea, was the Xiao family's ultimate technique. Ordinary people hit by it would suffer extremely miserable deaths. Hua Ziyue's pupils shrank drastically. Young master, watch out! Fang Ningbing's heart also tightened, just when everyone thought you would be injured by this move. Not only did you not retreat, you instead stepped forward to meet Xiao Chen's fist wind. The moment the two fists collided, the surrounding airwaves exploded. Xiao Chen's entire body flew off the ground, crashing heavily into the fountain pool 10 meters away. Everyone's eyes widened, looking in disbelief at this. After a brief silence, the scene instantly exploded. Holy shit, how is this possible? Isn't Xiao Chen already at the second-tier peak? Hua Ziyue's beautiful eyes were filled with shock. The young master actually defeated a second-tier peak with one move. Standing to the side, Fang Ningbing now looked solemnly at the lightning from just now. Even she felt palpitations. What exactly is the background of this suddenly appearing young man? The Xiao family has a 7th-tier expert. You're dead meat. He got 1 slap. You gave him 2 slaps. Everyone gasped. Xiao Chen crawled out of the pool wretchedly. Kid, my father is a 7th-tier expert. Do you want your entire family wiped out? That's just about qualified to be a guard at my house. What do you think you are? Do you think you're the EA family? Kneel down and kowtow right now and I might spare your life. Otherwise, brother Xiao, kill him. Hua Ziyue instantly arrived by your side, her eyes narrowing. Fang Ningbing secretly sighed in her heart. I didn't expect someone to stand up for me. It seems I can only use that move. Right at this moment, Xiao Chen suddenly crushed a jade talisman. Space instantly tore open. A figure stepped out from the void. Young master, Uncle Liu, help me cripple someone. Young master, the family head is going to visit the Ai family recently. At this critical juncture, cut the crap. Do it, Liu. Zhen Yun sighed. But the moment he turned around and got a clear look at your face, his heart almost stopped beating. Uncle Liu is a 5th-tier expert. You're fucking dead. At this time, after seeing Liu Zhenyun's eyes, you instantly understood. It seemed there was no need to call the hidden guards out. This is your helper? Xiao Chen was furious. Gathering spiritual energy in his palm, he violently blasted it towards you. Stop. Liu Zhenyun let out an explosive shout, instantly dispersing Xiao Chen's attack. Following that was a resounding slap. Xiao Chen was completely dazed. The entire crowd was dead silent. Then, under everyone's shocked gazes, Liu Zhenyun dropped straight to his knees. Young Master Yi, please forgive me. After a brief silence, the scene instantly exploded in an uproar. Fuck the imperial capital's family. That son of the martial god, Xiao Chen, and Su Xianqi suddenly turned pale, their legs trembling uncontrollably. The imperial capital's Ye family, how is this possible? Right at this moment, the vice principal hurried over. Young Master Ye, I apologize for keeping you waiting. This greeting completely confirmed your identity. Fang Ningbing's pupils shrank. He's the son of a 9th-tier martial god. Do you still want to cripple me now? Xiao Chen's lips trembled, unable to speak. Liu Zhenyun hurriedly kowtowed. Young Master Ye, my young master is young and ignorant. Please, did I let you speak? Liu Zhenyun's entire body trembled, and he knocked his forehead heavily against the ground. Xiao Chen finally broke down. He hurriedly knelt on the ground, kowtowing madly. Young master, spare my life. I had eyes but failed to recognize Mr. Tai. Weren't you the one who said you were going to kill me? I apologize, young master. Spare my life. We were blind. I didn't mean... apologize to her. Fang Ningbing was a bit astonished. A young man she had never met before. Why would he stand up for her? Don't be nervous. I'm someone who hates physical bullying the most. And Xiao Chen and Su Xinqi felt as if they had grasped a lifeline. Young Master Yi just stood up for that girl. He must be kind-hearted, maybe. However, The next second, you looked at Liu Zhenyun. Handle it yourself. Of course, if their cultivation isn't crippled and their limbs aren't broken, I will be very unhappy. Young Master Yi, a blinding flash of lightning, suddenly struck right next to Liu Zhenyun's feet. Say one more word and you'll join them. The vice principal stared intently at the lightning in your hand. Lightning? Wait, young Master Ye. My father is the Xiao family head. The Xiao family stands behind me. You can't. Xiao Qin still wanted to beg for mercy. I saw you casually wave your hand. 2 bolts of lightning accurately blasted into their dantians and limbs. Xiao Chen and Su Xinqi crashed heavily to the ground, completely passing out. The Xiao family stands behind you? But the Yi family stands behind the Xiao family. Mission completed. Acquired Dao Bone of Destiny, naturally attuned to the 3,000 great Daos and laws. Realm climbing becomes effortless. A terrifying, domineering power instantly surged into your body. You could clearly feel your perception of heaven and earth's spiritual energy had multiplied several times over. Not just the martial Dao, even side paths like alchemy, artifact forging, and talismans now seemed incredibly simple in your eyes. That lightning was absolutely not something a D-rank talent could unleash. Could the IE family young master's reputation as trash be fake? The vice principal suddenly reacted and immediately announced loudly, Xiao Chen and Su Xinsai have always had improper conduct. Today, they even attempted to use their family's power to harm others. From today on, Xiao Chen and Su Xinxi are expelled. The surrounding onlookers exploded once again. Just because of this small matter today, they were not only crippled, but also expelled, and it was all because of that young man in the center. At this time, Liu Zhenyun's face was ashen. He knew this matter was definitely not over, and at this moment, you spoke up. Handle it yourself. Hearing these words, Liu Zhenyun gritted his teeth, then sent a voice transmission to the Xiao family's hidden guards. Immediately send people to wipe out the entire Su family. After doing all this, he violently struck his own dantian with a palm. Liu Zhenyun's cultivation was completely crippled. You were instantly stunned. Why did you cripple your own cultivation? No, didn't you tell me to? I just told you to drag these 2 pieces of trash away. Liu Zhenyun spat out another mouthful of old blood and fainted directly from anger. Turning to look at Fang Ningbing, are you all right? Fang Ningbing shook her head slightly, but her eyes were extremely complex. She couldn't figure out why you wanted to help her. Was it really just seeing injustice on the road? No matter the reason, this empress will remember this favor. Hua Ziyue took a step forward, gently holding Fang Ningbing's hand. Don't be afraid. Our young master is very nice. Fang Ningbing nodded slightly. Afterward, you left with the vice principal. Inside the academic affairs office, the vice principal respectfully handed over an admission letter. Young Master Ye, this is your special admission letter. His attitude at this moment was like a completely different person from when you first met. Are you kidding? Could someone who casually crippled the Xiao family's young master be trash? You glanced at the curriculum. Alchemy Basics, Key Refining, Introduction, Talisman Introduction. With the Dao Bone of Destiny, these subjects that ordinary people would need to spend decades to learn were nothing more than child's play to you. After completing the enrollment, you walked toward the cultivation rooms. As soon as you entered the cultivation area, you saw Fang Ningbing's figure, just entering one of the cultivation rooms. So she came here to cultivate too. Then, thinking about her identity as a reborn empress, you didn't say anything, subsequently walked into the cultivation room next to Fang Ningbing's. You took a deep breath, sat cross-legged, and felt that Dao Bone of Destiny radiating purple light within your body. Following your thoughts, this bone suddenly began to tremble violently. Immediately after, a suction force erupted from your body, the spiritual energy originally flowing quietly within the formation, as if swept up by this suction force, frantically entered your body. What was even more shocking was that this suction force actually penetrated the walls and began plundering the spiritual energy from the next door cultivation room. Meanwhile, on the other side, Fang Ningbing sat quietly in her cultivation room. Her gaze fell upon a cicada-shaped spiritual artifact in her hand. This cicada-shaped artifact was no ordinary item. It was Fang Ningbing's space-time secret treasure, the cold cicada's tear. However, now it only had a faint trace of spiritual energy left. Despite this trace of spiritual energy was extremely important. As long as he could refine this wisp of spiritual energy, his cultivation would become far more powerful than it was now. He was just about to start absorbing this precious spiritual energy, when suddenly a massive pulling force came from the room next door. Before Fang Ningbing could even react, the wisp of spiritual energy in his hand was yanked away. "Hey man, where'd my thing go?" As you absorb the spiritual energy, you can clearly feel your physical body, meridians, and spiritual power all developing at an astonishing rate. In just a short moment, your cultivation level directly reaches the second order, level 7. If word of this cultivation speed got out, it would be enough to shake the entire academy. Just then, a wisp of spiritual light also entered your body. Before you could react, a profound and world-defying power of space-time exploded within you. After you saved him, your younger brother gave you a rare, formal gift. He then gave you his most precious secret treasure. A question mark slowly forms. Obtained 9th Order Secret Treasure, Frozen Cicada's Tear. Host's comprehension of space-time laws has advanced by leaps and bounds. You can now mark any location with an imprint and instantly arrive at the marked spot. A silver-white, frozen cicada was resting quietly on your spiritual power. It was clearly just a cicada-shaped wisp of spiritual energy a moment ago. How did it turn into such a large frozen cicada? The moment it entered my Dantian, you were stunned. I was just cultivating. Why did it come with a gift package? But then you understood. The system must have made a mistake again. This seems to be Fang Ningbing's thing. Whatever. As long as I'm not at a loss, it's fine. With that, you decided to leave, but as soon as you pushed open the door, you ran into Fang Ningbing. Fang Ningbing's face was as dark as water. Your eyes darted around. Can't let him see any weakness. What are you doing here? Fang Ningbing couldn't figure it out either. How had the aura of his frozen cicada's tear completely vanished? He had clearly sensed the origin of the secret treasure, being forcibly taken away by some power. But when he rushed out of the training room, it was gone. It was as if someone had instantly refined it. He subconsciously looked at you, only to find you staring right back at him. The atmosphere instantly froze. No, I can't let him find out. I'm looking for the frozen cicada's tear. This thing is too precious. If word gets out, it will probably attract huge trouble. I can't let him find out. It's on me. The two of them thought at the same time. I have to find a way to hide it. Fang Ningbing was the first to break the stalemate. You're here to cultivate too? Yeah, that's right. And thanks again for what happened earlier. It's nothing, don't worry about it. How's your cultivation going? It's all right. I finally managed to reach the second order level 7. Oh, then wait. Fang Ningbing's perfunctory expression instantly froze. He remembered clearly. When he saw you this morning, you had just entered the second order, Luo Xiao. You felt your hair stand on end under his gaze. Maybe it was a case of thick accumulation and thin release. Do you think cultivation is like eating and drinking? Fang Ningbing was completely baffled. A thought flashed through his mind. Could it be that you refined the frozen cicada's tear? But he rejected the idea the next second. The frozen cicada's tear contains the laws of space-time. Even he could only refine it slowly. How could a second-order cultivator possibly absorb it in an instant? Seeing your cultivation progress so quickly, Fang Ningbing suddenly felt a wave of irritation. I can't waste any more time here. I have to find the frozen cicada's tear. I have something to do. I have to go. I actually have something to do as well. Immediately after, the two of them hurried off in different directions. After a while, when you arrived at the alchemy room, Fang Ningbing's figure appeared before you once again. Caught off guard, the two of them locked eyes. For a moment, both were at a loss for what to do. The situation was exceptionally awkward. You hadn't expected to see him here too. You had originally planned to test your alchemy skills, since you had the Siming Dao bone. As for Fang Ningbing, the reason he was here was because he couldn't find the frozen cicada's tear, and decided to refine some pills to aid his cultivation. After all, he was a supreme grandmaster of the pill Dao. You know alchemy too? I know a little. Fang Ningbing raised an eyebrow. The sudden surge in cultivation was strange enough. Could he also understand the pill Dao? An idea struck him. Anyway, I won't be finding the frozen cicada's tear anytime soon. Since we've run into each other, why don't we do it together? Fang Ningbing had already turned and walked toward an empty cauldron. You, on the other hand, watched Fang Ningbing. He was an empress, after all. His skill in the pill Dao was definitely superior to your own. I might as well watch him first. Fang Ningbing stood before the cauldron. Then, a ball of spiritual fire leaped from his palm, instantly enveloping the cauldron. Several spiritual herbs tumbled in the flames, gradually melting into a medicinal liquid. You stood to the side, watching his every move intently. As Fang Ningbing's alchemy progressed, the Siming Dao bone in your body suddenly vibrated slightly. A wave of pill Dao comprehension flooded your mind like a tide. Alchemy experience that should have taken decades to accumulate now appeared in your mind all at once. Ha! Fang Ningbing let out a soft cry. Finally, the inside of the cauldron shone with a brilliant light. 3 supreme-grade pills and 4 high-grade pills floated in the air. A hint of satisfaction flashed in his eyes. If those old geezers at the academy knew that a student could casually refine supreme-grade pills, their jaws would probably hit the floor. Some alchemists couldn't achieve this without practicing for 10 or 20 years. Fang Ningbing turned to look at you, already imagining your shocked expression. Your quenching technique was wrong just now. What did you say? Fang Ningbing was a walking question mark. This was his original creation, the 9 Revolutions ice condensation art. And now, some second-order guy was telling him it was wrong. Before he could react, you had already strode toward the cauldron. Fang Ningbing was stunned. Are you going to refine pills? At this moment, Fang Ningbing felt that since his rebirth, there had been way too many damn strange things happening. First, the son of a 9th-order martial god came to help him, directly crushing a guy with a higher cultivation level. Then that wisp of the frozen cicada's tears suddenly vanished. And now, something even more absurd. He, the great pill Dao Empress, was being told by a novice that his alchemy was wrong. Haha! Has this world gone mad? Or have I? He watched you clumsily selecting medicinal herbs, and couldn't help but sigh. Forget it. This young master is probably just trying to act cool in front of me. Fang Ningbing could already foresee what would happen next. First, the cauldron would explode, and then the pills would be ruined. Suddenly, you raised your hand. All the medicinal herbs flew into the cauldron in perfect order. Fang Ningbing's pupils shrank. This is controlling objects with divine sense. Isn't he a novice? What shocked him even more was that, although your alchemy technique was a bit rough, every single movement was in harmony with the laws of the heavenly Dao. It was just like you were imitating his every detail from before. Fang Ningbing was about to praise you, but when he saw you throw in several herbs with incompatible properties, at the same time, he was completely dumbfounded. What are you doing? Stop it now. Ice Heart, Grass, and Fire Spirit Ginseng will... However, before he could finish, the 2 completely opposite medicinal powers merged perfectly. Fang Ningbing's eyes were filled with utter disbelief. As a former Supreme Grandmaster of the Pill Dao, he knew better than anyone that the clash of ice and fire was an iron law of alchemy. Even for him, he had to use a powerful secret art to barely harmonize them. The timing for quenching needs to be earlier. The spiritual energy of cold-natured herbs starts to dissipate at the 7th second, so you have to prepare in advance. Fang Ningbing was as if struck by lightning. This was the exact problem he was trying to solve. When he first created the 9 Revolutions ice condensation art, he was just about to speak, but the cauldron suddenly began to shake violently. Then, he witnessed a shocking scene. You were already taking on the burden. At the critical moment, you threw in 3 more herbs. Stop adding herbs now, Will. But the cauldron didn't explode as he expected. Instead, it lit up with countless rays of light, as bright as the sun. Then, a blurry phantom formed above the cauldron's lid. This is a Pill Dao manifestation, Fang Ningbing cried out in shock. His Dao heart trembled violently. This was a legendary phenomenon that only appeared when the most perfect pill was created. You slapped the body of the cauldron. 7 streams of light shot out instantly. 7 supreme-grade pills with 3 patterns appeared. Fang Ningbing's brain seemed to shut down. How? How on earth did you do that? I just learned it from watching you refine pills earlier. Fang Ningbing's gaze wavered intensely. Could he be a pill immortal reborn? By the way, what kind of pill is this? Fang Ningbing finally came back to his senses. After taking a deep look at you, he said, "This is the Great Love Pill. What does it do?" This pill is divided into a main pill and a sub-pill. Whoever takes the sub-pill, all the spiritual energy they cultivate will be transferred to the person with the main pill. It's for sacrificing oneself for others. That's why it's called the Great Love Pill. A question mark slowly appeared above your head. Isn't this just some evil, unorthodox technique? Who would use a pill like this? You secretly put the pills away. Then you spoke. The person who invented this pill must be a genius, such a spirit of great love. I'm deeply moved. Fang Ningbing's eyes lit up. He understands me. I have some alchemy questions for you. Fang Ningbing then began to ask you questions. And with the help of the Siming Daobone, you quickly found the answers. First, you listened to him, which allowed you to gain more knowledge of the pill Dayo. Then, you would tell him the answers. Although Fang Ningbing was already profoundly skilled in the pill Dao, after listening to your words, he couldn't help but be shocked. Damn, you're incredible. Afterward, Fang Ningbing told you that every time he refined pills, he would feel a coldness due to his innate talent. He had used many fire-natured herbs, but it was still not enough. I've thought about this problem too. In my past life, I even used the Golden Crow Divine Fire. While it was useful, it couldn't cure the root cause. That's because the fire nature isn't strong enough. You suddenly thought of something. Your eyes lit up. I have a way. Fang Ningbing was taken aback. Could it be that his father, that ninth order martial god, left him a secret art? Just as a glimmer of hope rose in him, he saw you suddenly reach out and open your mouth. Before he could react, a long, slender finger was already inserted into Fang Ningbing's mouth. Fang Ningbing instantly froze. His mind went completely blank. He instinctively wanted to pull back, but he suddenly felt an unprecedented warmth surging from his mouth. It was a purer, more domineering power of the scorching sun than even the Golden Crow Divine Fire. This is your blood. Don't use your tongue. But at this moment, Fang Ningbing could no longer hear your words clearly. He was only focused on absorbing every drop of your blood. Outside the door, Hua Ziyue arrived at the alchemy room, humming a little tune. The young master said he was testing something in the alchemy room. Hua Ziyue walked to the door of your alchemy room. Just as she was about to enter, she heard voices. How does it feel? A bit metallic. I was asking about. Your body is very warm. Outside the door, Hua Ziyue's face instantly turned red. Then she heard Fang Ningbing's voice. How did you do that? It's a secret, but can I have some more? Hua Ziyue's face turned red unconsciously. At this moment, inside the alchemy room, you slowly withdrew your finger. After all, letting Fang Ningbing suck on it wasn't a long-term solution. Fang Ningbing felt the power within his body. His eyes grew brighter and brighter. His blood is even more effective than the Golden Crow Divine Fire. Just then, you spoke. I'm leaving now. I owe you 2 favors. I will repay them. Remembering that his treasure was still on you, you spoke with a guilty conscience. It's nothing. I'm just a helpful person. Fang Ningbing's favorable impression of you grew even more. I never thought this person had such a spirit of great love, just like me. Not wanting to get any more entangled, you quickly walked out of the alchemy room. Just then, you suddenly caught a whiff of a familiar, faint fragrance, Hua Ziyue's scent. But the hallway was empty. At that moment, a commotion erupted in the distance. A young man with an excited face was on the verge of tears. I'm so grateful to the Xiao Martial Hall. After training here for a week, my cultivation broke through from the peak of the 2nd order to the 3rd order level 4. Following that, there was a scene of rows of students cultivating in the martial hall. An abnormal, crimson spiritual energy surged from each of them. The secret technique of the Xiao martial hall is amazing. Everyone, hurry up and sign up. A chorus of curses immediately erupted from the surroundings. Do they think we're idiots, improving that much in a week? Are you kidding me? This ad is so fake. You couldn't help but shake your head. Just as you were about to leave, a line of blood-red text suddenly appeared before your eyes. You have finally arrived at the headquarters of the world-ending organization, Dark River. What the hell? You stopped in your tracks. Everyone knows the leader of Dark River is capable of every evil imaginable. Kidnapping prodigies, massacring cities, and bullying young women. But who would have thought that this dark organization that terrified the entire world was formerly an ordinary martial hall in the imperial capital called the Xiao Martial Hall? Mission issued. Annihilate Dark River. Mission reward. God-level talent. Chaotic ice dragon body. At this moment, you looked at the place that resembled a third-rate cram school. In other words, this martial hall will become the future world-ending organization. No wonder they can improve their cultivation so much in a week. It seems this place is not as simple as it looks. Just as you were thinking, Hua Ziyue's voice suddenly came from behind you. Young master, you turned your head. Hua Ziyue appeared behind you, her face extremely flushed. You're here. Hua Ziyue subconsciously let out a sigh of relief. It turned out that just before you came out, she had fled the scene. Now she was pretending to have just arrived. Just thinking about it made her ears turn red again. What's wrong? Your face is so red. It's nothing. Nothing. Hua Ziyue quickly changed the subject. By the way, young master, the family head wants you to return home at once, he said. There's an important matter. Your eyes suddenly lit up. That's right. I'm the young master of the I family, since I've discovered an extremely dangerous terrorist organization. Of course I should call for backup. No, I mean request support from the family. This is the future world-ending organization we're talking about. Who knows how far they've developed by now? You made a swift decision, grabbing Hua Ziyue and rushing toward the school gate, the family's main hall. Dad, you were looking for me? As soon as you entered the hall, you saw your father looking at you with a smile. I heard you were helping a classmate at school. What you did was… Ye Yuantian was about to praise you, but halfway through his sentence, his eyes suddenly widened. Holy crap! What's going on with your cultivation? Second order, level 7. Weren't you just at the beginning of the second order? He instantly appeared in front of you. Why is there a fluctuation of space-time laws in your body? As expected, I can't hide it from my old man. You sighed. At this moment, Ye Yuantian was completely baffled. His son goes out for a bit, and what on earth happens to him? Did you go to a foot massage parlor again? This is a bit hard to explain right now. I'll tell you later. First, tell me why you were looking for me. Hearing this, Ye Yuantian's eyes flickered. He never thought his son would have secrets. In the end, Ye Yuantian just gave you a deep look. Kang Feng. A figure appeared in the hall like a ghost. Family head, young master. Kang Feng held a box with both hands. The moment the lid was opened, the temperature of the entire hall rose sharply. A heart that did not belong to a human was slowly beating inside the box. This is a phoenix blood heart. As for what to do with it, Kang Feng will instruct you. I have other matters to attend to, Ye Yuantian said slowly. Before his voice faded, Ye Yuantian gave you one last deep look, and in a flash, he vanished without a trace. Your gaze fell upon Kang Feng. You were naturally aware of Kang Feng's identity and strength. You also understood that he had likely been protecting you in secret all this time. Uncle Kang Feng, this whole time. It must have been hard on you. Young master, you are too kind. This is all part of my duty. There is no need to worry about it. Then, Kang Feng began to explain. Young master, this is a 1,000-year-old phoenix blood heart. After refining it, you can obtain the Nirvana heart. Your eyes lit up when you heard this. This is the advantage of having a powerful background. After countless battles between beasts and humans, this phoenix blood heart finally underwent its ultimate sublimation, becoming the Nirvana Phoenix Heart. The Nirvana Phoenix Heart comes with its own divine ability, Nirvana Phantom Soul, which will nullify any fatal damage received. While you were lost in thought, Kang Feng continued to speak. Young master, the phoenix is the sovereign of flames. Let me teach you how to refine it, otherwise you will be. That won't be necessary. Your expression was calm. You directly grabbed the heart and refined it in an instant. You already possess the pitch-black scorching sun. Why would you be afraid of flames? A blood-red flame ignited all over your body, and the phantom of a phoenix appeared behind you. What's going on? Why is the phoenix blood heart showing a phenomenon? Hasn't its transformation not yet succeeded? Kang Feng was stunned. A moment later, you opened your eyes again. Although your appearance hadn't changed much, you now possessed a suffocatingly noble aura. Young master is truly a peerless talent to refine it with such ease. Uncle Kang Feng, there's something I'd like to ask for your help with. Young master, please speak freely. An idea suddenly surfaced in your mind. Then, your eyes lit up. Uncle Kang Feng, it's like this. 2 hours later, inside a warehouse, Kang Feng was standing by your side. Young master, it's done. It was no trouble. Before Uncle Kang Feng, more than a dozen martial hall masters stood with nervous expressions. Among them were many masters of high-level martial halls, and a few were well-known martial arts masters from the vicinity. However, at this moment, they were all staring in terror at the figure behind you. Just half an hour ago, they were in their respective martial halls, teaching their disciples. But suddenly, a force that was simply impossible to resist captured them all. They didn't even have a chance to fight back. What realm could this expert possibly be?
And now, this terrifying existence
Was standing respectfully behind that young man. A white-haired old man spoke nervously. May I ask what business you two gentlemen have with us? Everyone, there's no need to be afraid. I am the young master of the I family. The shadow of a man's fame follows him. In an instant, everyone's face turned even paler. Is my reputation really that terrifying? The corner of your mouth twitched slightly. I've called you all here today to help you. A new martial hall called Xiao has recently opened in the imperial capital, right? We're all in the same business. With them around, it must be quite difficult for you to recruit apprentices. Several of the hallmasters suddenly lowered their heads, remaining silent. As their neighbors, you should know the Xiao martial hall quite well. I want to know if they've been doing anything illegal behind the scenes. I, the young master, have decided to crack down on this kind of behavior that corrupts the spirit of martial arts. Now, each of you must state one illegal act committed by the Xiao martial hall. Understand? The entire place was dead silent. The hallmasters looked at each other and then at one another. Finally, a middle-aged hallmaster spoke up. Young Master Ye, actually. The master of the Xiao martial hall is quite good to us. She's also very beautiful, and sometimes gives us pills. Oh, so they've done nothing wrong at all? It seems so, the middle-aged hallmaster replied. But in the next second, Kang Feng's oppressive aura suddenly erupted. Everyone's eyes filled with terror. In that case, it seems you're all in the same boat. Every one of you has participated in their illegal activities. Since that's the case, starting tomorrow, all of your martial halls can be turned into public restrooms. The group of martial hall masters were scared out of their wits. Faced with Kang Feng's terrifying pressure, someone finally couldn't take it anymore and roared. The Xiao martial hall. They use forbidden drugs, steal secret manuals, practice evil arts, and even rape young women. The others instantly understood. It's not a question of whether they did it or not. They must have done it. All right, that's enough evidence. Your mouth twitched. Meanwhile, at the Xiao martial hall, two figures slowly appeared. Those fools are scrambling
to drink the potion that contains the corpse heartbone. When the beast rift opens, they will be the puppets that destroy the imperial capital. Wei Qingqing was sneering with satisfaction. She touched her belly and continued, I am already pregnant with the beast god's child. When he is born, he will be the leader here. Ha 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 ha. It won't be long now. They will become the most loyal puppets, Liu Yin said with a grim expression. Just then, a loud roar echoed from the sky. Countless experts descended from above. The oppressive auras of 6th, 7th, and even 8th order cultivators spread out. We've received a report that you bully men and dominate women, use forbidden drugs, steal martial arts, and even rape young maidens. The Yi family, representing justice, will eliminate you. You looked down from above, reading from a script with a straight face. I'm a woman. How could I rape a maiden? Wei Qingqing was stunned on the spot. Isn't she the victim? You angrily pointed at Liu Yin beside her. I'm a man, damn it, Liu Yin roared, his long hair flying wildly. Just then, Kang Feng slammed his palm into the ground, cracking it open. The underground space was instantly exposed. The dense clusters of corpse heart bones were enough to make one's skin crawl. The young master is truly perceptive. Kang Feng gave you a deep look, his eyes filled with shock. He had originally been puzzled as to why they were targeting a small martial hall. Now, he finally understood. Now what do you have to say for yourselves? I confess, but the child in my belly is innocent. At least let me give birth to the child. Wei Qingqing suddenly clutched her stomach. At this moment, everyone was looking at the Ye family. And after hearing there was a child, your expression became complicated. How about this? I, Ye Guo, never harm women or children. You can go. Wei Qingqing's eyes lit up. Just as she turned to leave, Uncle Kang Feng, do it! Then, a terrifying spiritual power descended from the sky. Wei Qingqing's body instantly twisted and deformed. Didn't you say you wouldn't kill women and children? That's right, but you're not a child, and what's in your belly isn't a woman. With a loud bang, Wei Qingqing's body exploded. I don't know anything, I'm innocent. Please, young Master Ye, investigate thoroughly, Liu Yin quickly pleaded. Oh, so you're innocent? Why didn't you say so earlier? How about this? Call me Dad, and I'll let you go. Liu Yin never expected him to make such a shameless request. You're not actually going to call him that, are you? Kang Feng sighed. Then he waved his hand. Liu Yin exploded on the spot, obtained god-level talent, chaotic ice dragon body.
Chaotic ice dragon body. Inherit the power of the extreme cold dragon from the chaotic void. Freeze space-time. Annihilate all things. Before you could even examine the reward, an angry roar suddenly erupted from the crowd. What are you doing? What have you done to the Xiao Martial Hall? Bai Wucheng had just returned in high spirits, only to see the sacred training ground of his dreams turned into a pile of rubble. The hall masters were in pieces all over the ground, and standing in the center of the ruins was that notoriously evil young master of the Ai family. Everyone looked at him with strange expressions, as the great young master of the Ai family, bullying men and dominating women on a daily basis is one thing, but now you're going to destroy the hope of us ordinary martial artists too. Then, Bai Wucheng's eyes lit up. He had an idea. Brothers and sisters, without the Xiaohe Martial Hall, how can we achieve our dreams? The Yi family just wants us to be useless trash for the rest of our lives. Join me and overthrow the capitalists. However, the entire area was dead silent. Not only did the onlookers not respond, but they looked at him as if he were an idiot. Why aren't you all shouting with me? The response he got was a bolt of lightning that tore through the sky. Bai Wucheng was struck and sent flying backward. The entire operation of the imperial capital relies on the support of my Ai family. 15 advanced cultivation academies, 4 top-tier cultivator universities. What you're trying to overthrow isn't capitalism, it's the entire capital. You slowly retracted your finger, your voice as piercing as ice. After dealing with Bai Wucheng, the news of you annihilating spies from another world quickly spread throughout the imperial capital. At this moment, in the Ai residence, Ye Yuantian's laughter shook the entire Yi family estate. Xiao Guo this time. He's really changed. He's truly a son of my Yi family. The Yi family head's eyes were filled with relief. And you used to say he wasn't like you. A dignified female voice came from outside. Then a figure appeared. It was your mother, Lu Ruyan. She had just returned from negotiations in the demon capital. Yanner, you're back just in time. I've heard all about our son, Xiao Huo. He's really grown up. Although I've been disappointed in him all these years, deep down, I always held on to the deepest hope. Thinking of this, Lu Ruyan's nose couldn't help but tingle. I'm back! Your voice suddenly sounded from outside the hall door. Lu Ruyan spun around, abruptly. The moment she saw her son, the mother's eyes instantly turned red. After all the trouble he caused, it was his mother who silently cleaned up his messes. Even during your most absurd days, your mother never gave up on you. In the past, you disappointed your mother, but she never gave up on you. And now awakened, you feel a heart-wrenching pain. Mission issued, revive Liu Ruyan. Mission reward, Taishu spirit fortune body. In the future, she dies to protect you. I absolutely cannot let the future events happen. Your eyes sharpened. You've only been gone a few days, but I didn't expect you to change so much. The moment she touched you, this 8th Order martial monarch sensed it. An unimaginably vast power was surging within your body. What shocked her even more was the cold energy flowing within you. Even she found it incredible. Your cultivation. And this cold energy, Liu Ruyan's beautiful eyes were filled with shock. Mission complete. Obtained Taichu spirit fortune body. A small Taichu world forms within the body, allowing for unlimited absorption of spiritual energy, transforming chaos into clarity and turbidity. Then, your whole body trembled. A world-creating rumble suddenly echoed from within you. Deep within your dantian, a small, chaotic world was forming. Countless streams of spiritual energy flowed into it, like rivers returning to the sea. So this is the Taichu world. I heard your father gave you the Phoenix blood heart. I guess he has some conscience after all. Liu Ruyan pinched your cheek. You two can chat for a bit. I still have some things to handle. Ye Yuantian stood up and said. After Ye Yuantian left, she suddenly became serious. You did very well this time. You're truly my Liu Ruyan's son. You smiled faintly, your mother's legendary past flashing through your mind. She broke through to the 7th Order at age 25. Afterward, she single-handedly suppressed an eruption in the demon abyss. At 30, she reached the peak of the 8th Order, just one step away from becoming a martial god. A voice suddenly came from outside. Gao Yang of the Gao family has come to visit Uncle Yi. At this moment, at the Ye family's gate, a young man in black stood in place, followed by two attendants with extremely powerful auras. They were quietly reminding him of something. Young master, when you see the Ye family head and his wife later, you must be on your best behavior. He was the second son of the Gao family, one of the top 4 great families of Great Xia. Gao Yang. Gao Yang nodded slightly.
That goes without saying. That's Ye Yuantian we're talking about. On that rainy night 10 years ago, when he was only 8 years old, he personally witnessed Ye Yuantian use just one move to defeat his own father, the one known as the invincible sacred sword. At that moment, Ye Yuantian became the goal he would pursue for his entire life. As for Ye Yuantian's son, how could such a powerful man have such a child? In Gao Yang's eyes, you were nothing but useless mud that couldn't be plastered on a wall. Even with the recent rumors that you had turned over a new leaf, in his eyes, it was just another one of this prodigal son's tricks. Just then, Liu Ruyan and you came out. Xiaoyang, what brings you here all of a sudden? I was passing through the imperial capital
And came especially to visit. Is Uncle Yi not here? Your Uncle Ye just stepped out. Come in and talk. Then, Liu Ruyan led Gao Yang and his attendants into the IA residence. Throughout the entire process, Gao Yang acted as if he didn't even see you. You narrowed your eyes but said nothing. Inside the hall, Gao Yang presented a brocade box with both hands. This is a soul-nurturing jade I brought from the Jinyang Kingdom. It can nourish the divine soul. I brought it especially for you and Uncle Yi. How thoughtful of you, Xiao Yang. It is my duty as a junior. As the two of them spoke, Gao Yang maintained the demeanor of a model other person's child, but that deliberate ignorance of you was very obvious. The weak were not worthy of his attention. So what if he's the young master of the Yu family? By the way, how has your father been lately? He's the same as always. You know, you're a spitting image of your father. As my father's son, it is only natural. However, some people should think about who their father is and not bring shame upon him. The two attendants' eyes widened in shock. They subconsciously glanced at you. Young master's words are a bit too blunt. Right, I still have some things to handle here. Xiao Guo, you young people can chat. A cold glint flashed in Liu Ruyan's eyes, but it vanished in an instant. She then gave you a meaningful look. With Liu Ruyan's departure, the atmosphere in the hall instantly froze. Uncle Yang, Uncle Li, you two wait here. I want to take a look around, Gao Yang said and was about to get up. Stop. Did I say you could leave? Are you talking to me? What? Is the young master of the Gao family hard of hearing? Gao Yang never expected you to dare speak to him like that. Actually, I'm quite envious of you. Among the 4 great families, your Oish family is the strongest, and my Gao family is the weakest. I have 7 siblings to compete with for favor, while you are an only son. To be honest, for you to be this useless is a skill in itself. A sudden chill swept through the hall. I heard your father pursues the way of the sword his entire life, so much that even seeing you is a waste of time. Or is it that your dad just doesn't care? Gao Yang's face instantly darkened. Spiritual power erupted from his body. The pressure of a late-stage third-order cultivator pressed down like a mountain. I'll give you a one-hand handicap. The outcome will still be 9-1. You're not worthy. I am the young master of the I family, and you say I'm not worthy. A blinding flash of lightning suddenly appeared. Before Gao Yang could react, the violent force of the lightning blasted him back several steps. The two attendants were greatly alarmed. Their young master was a late-stage third-order cultivator, after all, yet he was pushed back several steps by a second-order cultivator. I didn't expect you to have improved, but you provoked me, and I won't let you off easily. A guy who rarely even gets to see his own father wants to provoke me after today? I will make you revere me as you would a god. When Gao Yang heard this, his first reaction was that it was hilarious. The only person he had ever revered in his life was Yi Yuantian. Gao Yang, who once looked down on you, has now become a half-step martial god. Now you must prove yourself to him. Mission issued. Defeat Gao Yang. Mission reward. God level. Martial skill. Metal melting. Moon suppressing palace. Seeing that the situation was not good, the two attendants hurriedly stepped forward. Our young master was just joking. Today's matter? What are you? Are you qualified to meddle in my affairs? The two attendants' faces instantly turned ashen. Don't come crying to Auntie Lo for help later. As soon as his voice fell, his right palm transformed into a powerful blade of light, slashing straight at your face. Xuan rank martial skill.
Space-rending palm, however, you threw a punch, sending Gao Yang flying sideways. He slammed heavily into the wall, spitting out a mouthful of blood, his eyes filled with disbelief. That palm strike just now. Were you trying to tickle me, kid? Then, you instantly rushed toward Gao Yang. In a panic, spiritual power erupted from Gao Yang's body. He hurriedly raised a spiritual energy barrier, but in the next moment, cracks appeared on the barrier. The scene before Gao Yang's eyes suddenly distorted, replaced by a plane of endless cold. Ice plane. Divine ability domain. Only an expert who has reached the fourth order can comprehend a materialized divine ability. Gao Yang's voice was trembling. A massive phantom of an ice dragon flew out. In the final moment before he lost consciousness, he heard your light, mocking words. Sorry, I thought you were a speed bump. Mission complete. Obtain God-level martial skill, metal melting, moon-suppressing palace. The metal of tomorrow is like the law of heaven, destroys terrain and spiritual energy within a certain range. At this moment, after seeing the new reward you obtained, your eyes lit up. If this God-level cultivation technique is mastered, it can even harness the power of the stars to annihilate an entire domain. And just then, Gao Yang's figure lay unconscious on the ground. The two attendants hurriedly ran over. Young master, your young master's sleep quality is excellent. He falls asleep the moment he hits the ground. The two attendants were sweating profusely. They quickly helped Gao Yang up. We just remembered the family head has urgent business for us. We'll take the young master back now. The strength you just displayed was just like the young Ye Yuantian when he first emerged. Remember to tell your young master that if he's not convinced, he can come find me anytime. I'll give him a one-hand handicap and still win 9-1. I'll beat him 9 times in 1 minute. The two attendants nodded like chickens pecking at rice and hurriedly rushed out of the Aye residence. Liu Ruyan's figure appeared. That was very well done, even better than I imagined. Your ice power even has a dragon's might. But, in that case, I can feel at ease sending you to the demon capital to attend that girl's birthday. Whose birthday? That genius girl from the Bai family is having her birthday tomorrow. I was planning to have you go and show your face. Maybe the young lady will take a liking to my son. The corner of your mouth twitched. In my past life, you wanted to arrange a marriage with her. Why is this coming up again? However, you had also heard that the Bai family's young lady was incredibly beautiful. I understand. I'll go cultivate now. Liu Ruyan watched your departing figure, her eyes filled with relief. This child has really changed. He's even taking the initiative to cultivate. I heard he just taught that kid from the Gao family a lesson. Ye Yuantian's figure suddenly appeared. Of course, look whose son he is. At this heartwarming moment, Hua Ziyue hurried over. Family head, madam. I never expected the young master's talent to be so astonishing. His physical strength can crush an opponent of a higher realm. Yeah, Yuantian nodded. He continued with emotion. Isn't physical strength a weapon-type talent? What weapon type? I clearly remember he awakened pure physical strength. Isn't the young master a lightning type? Hua Ziyue asked weakly. The three of them looked at each other. The courtyard suddenly fell into a strange silence. Meanwhile, Xiao Guo had already arrived at the IA family's training room, thinking about how he had received such huge rewards. For completing simple tasks these past few days, Xiao Guo couldn't help but sigh with emotion. With the system and his talents, it's hard not to improve his realm. But how high is high enough? In the future, even father will lose. I must hurry and cultivate, find a way to surpass him. With this in mind, Xiao Guo decided to cultivate the metal, melting, moon-suppressing palace, and break through to the third order at the same time. Xiao Guo sat cross-legged, and the spiritual energy around him surged like a tide. As the metal-melting, moon-suppressing palace circulated, the metal attribute spiritual energy solidified, forming a thin layer of golden armor on Xiao Guo's skin. His cultivation level climbed steadily. In a flash, he had reached the peak of the second order. Just then, the area around Xiao Guo began to shake. Above the Ai residence, a vast rosy light tore through the clouds. A brilliant beam of light streaked across the sky. This is the great path of the Black Emperor. Immediately after, the Thunder God and chaotic Ice Dragon bodies followed closely behind. The powerful aura of the metal-melting, moon-suppressing palace swept over them. The light of the mortal dust tear also appeared at this time. 6 great paths descended from the 9th heaven. Ye Yuantian looked up at the sky, his pupils filled with shock. Am I seeing things? Back then, I only had one. How is there another one? The path of space and time. Among all the great paths, the path of space and time is the most powerful. The next moment, under the divine will of the Siming Dao Bone, the 6 great paths, which should have been mutually exclusive, began to merge perfectly, gathering inside Xiao Guo's body. Accompanied by the clear sound of a breakthrough, Xiao Guo's cultivation began to soar wildly. When the last great path entered his body,
Xiao Guo slowly opened his eyes. Within his pupils, 6 divine lights swirled. His cultivation had reached the 3rd order. In the 4th courtyard, you could hear a pin drop. The entire Yi family was stunned by this scene. Xiao Guo felt the immense power coursing through his body. He couldn't help but look at the enlarged cold cicada tear inside him. My spiritual power and physical body are 5 times stronger than before, and this thing in my body. Just then, Ye Yuantian and Liu Ruyan appeared. Son, what just happened? Maybe it's because I'm exceptionally talented. After all, my parents are so powerful. The couple fell silent. He's just like I was when I was young. Don't forget what I told you. Go to the Bai family in Modu. It's best if you win that girl over directly. Xiao Guo was speechless, but he still decided to go to the Bai family in Modu. He arrived at the Ye families. Linzhou Vessel. This was the Ye family's flying artifact. Not only could it travel thousands of miles a day, it also possessed a terrifying defensive power capable of withstanding attacks from a 7th-order expert. Kang Feng's figure appeared on the deck. Young master, the family had ordered me to accompany you, a peak 8th-order expert, as an escort. This journey will be much safer. Let's depart. The huge vessel slowly ascended into the sky. Liu Ruyan stood in the courtyard. Have you ever seen a situation like our son's? It's unheard of, but you know of the realm above martial god. Perhaps one day he will reach that realm. I never thought you would think so highly of him. I heard a strange spatial rift has appeared over the North Sea. Let's hope it's just a normal spatial fluctuation. By now, the Linzhou had already flown completely out of the imperial capital's range. Below was nothing but a barren wasteland. Just then, a voice came from below. Sir, please stop for a moment. Can you help us? Xiao Guo subconsciously looked down. He saw a man and a woman standing in the wasteland. The middle-aged man was dressed as a butler and was anxiously waving his arms. The young girl beside him had a panicked expression. Next to them was a damaged spirit boat with black smoke rising from its hull. The next moment, the two of them instantly appeared on the Linzhou. Xiao Guo's eyes widened in an instant. He didn't even see how they got on. Kang Feng snorted coldly. The middle-aged man realized the person before him was powerful. He quickly said, "We are from the Zhao family. We are on our way to attend the birthday of the young miss of the Bai family in Modu, but our spirit boat suddenly broke down. What a coincidence. We're going there too. I can give you a ride." Zhao Lingyuan looked at his handsome face and kind deed, and immediately felt a favorable impression of him. Zhao Lingyuan's face turned red. "Thank you." Suddenly, a massive Linzhou approached from the distance. On the Linzhou, a young master was cursing loudly. "I must be the first to arrive at the Bai family. If I let another family get there first, can you useless trash bear the consequences?" A guard suddenly pointed ahead. "Young master, there's a Linzhou ahead." Li Ming squinted at Xiao Guo's vessel. He could tell it was no ordinary craft. A trace of jealousy flashed in his eyes. "Are there any powerful experts on board?" The guard scanned the vessel upon hearing this. "There are 4 people on board. The strongest seems to be only 5th order." Hearing this, Li Ming spoke lightly, then rammed them. The next second, the Linzhou sped towards them. Seeing this, Xiao Guo's brow furrowed. The middle-aged man's pupils shrank. "Sir, get out of the way quickly. That's the Lai family's Linzhou. Their family has a 7th-order expert." Kang Feng spoke. "A bunch of ants dared to disturb the young master." Immediately after, an earth-shattering pressure suddenly erupted. The clouds in the entire sky churned. Thunder roared. The Linzhou, carrying Li Ming, began to shake violently. Accompanied by panicked voices, the Linzhou instantly shattered into pieces. Then, Kang Feng used his spiritual power to grab Li Ming and the others and bring them onto their Linzhou. The aura of an 8th-order expert instantly spread out. Li Ming's face turned pale. Zhao Lingyuan and the middle-aged man were also shocked. "What's your name?" Li Ming trembled as he spoke. "My name is Li Ming. It
It was these servants who planned to ram you. It has nothing to do with me. Do you think I believe you? Kang Feng said. Kang Feng didn't hesitate. He grabbed Li Ming and immediately began a soul search. Soon, Kang Feng's eyes lit up. He relayed the memories he obtained to Xiao Guo. It's up to you, Kang Feng said. Hearing this, Li Ming screamed in terror. I'm on my way to the Bei family's young Mrs. birthday. The Xiao family, one of the 4 great families, is backing me. You can't kill me, Kang Feng said. Annihilate them all. The one before you is the current young master of the Wei family. The Gao family is not worthy of being our enemy. Hearing this, Li Ming was filled with utter despair. The next second, Kang Feng raised his hand. The men instantly exploded into a mist of blood. Zhao Lingyuan and the middle-aged man collapsed to the ground in fear. There's no need to be so scared. I don't have much of anything except for a kind heart. Meanwhile, at the Bai family residence in Modu, everyone was preparing for the young Mrs. birthday banquet. In Miss Bai's room, Bai Fengshui was looking in the mirror. Beside her lay a long, silver-white sword. Just then, her father, Bai Lingya, pushed the door open and entered. He sighed. Today is your birthday. The guests are all waiting. Why are you still unwilling to give that thing to me? You've already reached the peak of the martial god realm. I haven't. I can surpass Yi Yuantian for you and help you get revenge. I've given you my Dantian. How can I still cultivate? You martial arts fanatic. I really don't know who will marry you in the future. Unless someone can defeat me at the same age and cultivation level, I will spend my life only with my sword. All right, it's about time. Let's go! At the entrance of the Bai residence, Xiao Guo and his group disembarked from the spirit boat. The middle-aged man quickly spoke to Xiao Guo. Thank you so much. It's nothing. You two go on ahead. Beside them, Zhao Lingyuan looked at Xiao Guo with a complicated expression. Seeing this, the middle-aged man quickly tugged at her sleeve. The girl snapped out of her daze. She bit her lip, gave Xiao Guo one last look, and then reluctantly turned to leave. After they left, Xiao Guo turned his head. Uncle Kang Feng, the gift. This is a Guichu stone that Madam retrieved from the deepest part of the South Sea's Guichu. It's a Guichu stone. It took 3 years to refine it into a sword pill. This is probably the only Guichu sword pill in existence. Xiao Guo nodded. He walked into the Bai family mansion with Kang Feng. Many Bai family disciples were at the entrance, welcoming guests and announcing their names. The announcements rose and fell. The congratulatory gifts were all extraordinary. Treasures that could incite bloody battles. At this moment, the steward in charge of receiving guests sensed Kang Feng's aura. His expression changed drastically in an instant. He quickly bowed. Young Master Yao, please come in. Xiao Guo nodded slightly and presented the gift. Just then, an extremely angry voice rang out. Xiao Guo, you stop right there. It was Gao Yang's younger brother, Gao Qiao, walking towards Xiao Guo. Where are your men? Didn't you know he was under my protection? How dare you disrespect me? You are neither my enemy nor my elder. Why should I give you face? Get lost and play somewhere else. Hearing this, Gao Qiao's eyes widened. Just as he was about to speak, Xiao Guo slapped him directly across the face. Gao Qiao was shocked. How is he so fast? A hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes. However, a majestic shout suddenly boomed. No one is to fight at the Bai family banquet. Bai Lingya appeared, leading Bai Fengshui. Gao Qiao's face instantly turned extremely ugly. In the end, he gritted his teeth and turned to leave. Bai Lingya, however, nodded at Xiao Guo. The atmosphere of the banquet gradually heated up. Some young masters from prominent families gathered to show off in front of the Bai family. They all displayed their talents. Some started refining pills on the spot. Others brought out artifact refining furnaces. Some even demonstrated their martial arts skills directly. Xiao Guo had no interest in these performances. He was about to leave when Gao Qiao strode forward. Let me show you a little something to shock you geniuses. He then began to refine an artifact. The furnace lid opened, and a brilliant light shot up into the sky. The crowd was in an uproar. Even Bai Fengshui's gaze was drawn over. Gao Qiao secretly glanced at Bai Fengshui, rejoicing inwardly. Young Master Ye, are you leaving? Why don't you give it a try? What if you also have a talent for artifact refinement? As soon as he said this, the entire hall fell silent. Everyone was ready to watch a joke unfold. Sure. Just then the system issued a mission. Mission, crush Gao Qiao. Reward, God-tier Dao Embryo, Supreme Emperor Sword, Young Master Ye. You shouldn't try to be a hero. You'll end up embarrassing the entire Yi family.
The killing intent in Kong Feng's eyes was palpable. Then why don't we have a formal competition? Just competing is boring. How about whoever loses has to bark like a dog 3 times in public? Deal! Everyone at the banquet was instantly shocked. Even Bai Fengshui frowned and shook her head. He's just digging his own grave to save face. I wonder if his dantian can be used. Young master, don't do this. Artifact refinement is different from combat. Then let's begin. After hearing this, Xiao Guo slowly stepped forward. Gao Qiqiao grabbed a high-grade spirit embryo. Then he threw the spiritual materials into the furnace one by one. At this moment, Xiao Guo quietly watched Gao Qiqiao's every move. His Siming Dao bone vibrated silently. In an instant, countless pieces of knowledge about artifact refinement flooded his mind. I'm starting to understand everything. Then, he suddenly raised his hand. A spirit embryo flew into his palm. The next second, lightning exploded in Xiao Guo's palm. The spirit embryo was instantly enveloped in violent thunderfire. The surrounding spiritual energy of heaven and earth began to stir wildly. Even the spirit embryo in Gao Qiqiao's furnace began to tremble, showing signs of losing control. Spiritual energy resonance. What's happening? At this moment, Xiao Guo swung a heavy hammer condensed from spiritual energy and smashed it fiercely onto the spirit embryo. The spirit embryo burst forth with infinite spiritual light. Then, Xiao Guo began to add other materials. Before long, the refining furnace erupted with a world-shaking roar. Inside the banquet hall, all the artifacts suddenly began to tremble uncontrollably. Bai Fengshui's brow twitched. Even her sword almost flew over. How is this possible? Because you're trash. The strong should humiliate the weak. As his voice fell, Gao Qiqiao's spirit embryo broke free from its spiritual power restraints, flying rapidly towards Xiao Guo's refining furnace. Accompanied by a clear sword cry, the artifact refinement was complete. A long, pitch-black sword floated in the air, and invisible pressure spread out like a tide. All the sword auras in the banquet hall let out a mournful cry, as if suppressed by something. A perfect spiritual artifact, too bad it's only 4th order. A clamor of discussion arose from the crowd. You must have cheated. He's refusing to admit defeat. The next moment, a black and gold sword light shot out. Gao Qiqiao felt a sharp pain in his left arm. His arm was instantly severed. A heart-wrenching scream echoed throughout the banquet hall. Several Gao family guards hidden in the shadows instantly sprang into action, charging out. Take another step if you don't want to live. The Gao family guards stopped in their tracks. You're courting death. My second brother, Gao Yang, won't let you go, idiot. Why don't you have your brother come over? I'll just beat him up again. Hearing this, Gao Qiqiao's face turned pale. The next second, Xiao Guo instantly moved forward and placed the sword against Gao Qiqiao's neck. Now, bark like a dog 3 times, or your head will roll. Gao Qiqiao trembled all over. He howled hysterically, woof, 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 woof. You're a fast learner. But it's not as authentic as your usual barking. Then, Xiao Guo pierced Gao Qiqiao's palm with the long sword, pinning him firmly to the ground. He then fiercely kicked him in the chest. Gao Qiqiao fainted from the excruciating pain. Mission complete. Obtained God-tier Dao embryo. Supreme Emperor sword. Sword aura detected in the vicinity. Assimilate! The next moment, a rosy light drilled into the black and gold long sword. The body of the sword emitted a low hum. At this moment, the Shuangtian white feather sword in Bai Fengshui's hand began to tremble violently. She could clearly feel the fear of the artifact spirit within the sword. Bai Fengshui suddenly looked up at Xiao Guo, her face filled with shock and confusion. Wielder of the Supreme Emperor Sword, all sword arts are mastered without a teacher. The Emperor Sword's power is linked to its master. Under the Emperor Sword's pressure, all sword auras lose at least 30% of their power. In battle, a 30% power difference is enough to turn the tide of the entire battle. I didn't expect the reward to be so generous this time. Xiao Guo put away the Emperor Sword and prepared to leave. Unexpectedly, Bai Fengshui called out to him, her eyes burning with intensity. Xiao Guo, please wait a moment. Can you have a match with me? What did you say? I see your sword is quite impressive. I'd like to spar with you. Are you afraid? Just as Xiao Guo was about to answer, the system's voice suddenly sounded. New mission, defeat the sword god Bai Fengshui. Reward, God-tier soul power, true soul of the final azure heaven. Xiao Guo stared at the mission reward, stunned. Only 1 in hundreds of thousands possesses a soul spirit, and this is a God-tier 1.
Xiao Guo snapped out of his thoughts and said happily, "Since it's your birthday, I have no reason to refuse." All right. Her impression of Xiao Guo had already changed. She felt he was completely different from the rumors. Bai Fengshui flicked her wrist, and the Shuangtian white feather sword flew from its sheath. She secretly planned, "After I win, I must study that strange black sword carefully. My sword is also ready." The Emperor's sword sensed Xiao Guo's battle intent and burst forth with a dazzling black and gold light. The two stood facing each other, their auras rising steadily. Bai Fengshui suddenly took the initiative. A 30-foot-long ice-blue sword light tore through the sky. Wherever it passed, even the air froze into fine ice crystals. She used 70% of her strength, preparing to crush him for a decisive victory. However, Xiao Guo merely raised an eyebrow. He shifted slightly to the side, and the sword light grazed the corner of his clothes. A rockery behind him was blasted into ice shards. He actually managed to dodge it. Then, Bai Fengshui held back no longer. The Shuangtian white feather sword transformed into a sky full of cold stars, each strike aimed at Xiao Guo's vital points. But Xiao Guo swung his black sword, parrying all the attacks. The sound of clashing metal was incessant. "I never thought you had such mastery of the sword. Everyone says you're the #1 swordsman of the younger generation. But only now do I realize you're too weak. It's over." As his voice fell, Bai Fengshui was still confused. But the next second, the Emperor's sword erupted with an extremely terrifying pressure. A powerful sword intent shot up into the sky. Then a fine crack appeared on Bai Fengshui's sword. "This is a 5th-order spiritual artifact. How could this be?" Before she could recover from her shock, Xiao Guo's sword had already swung. A pure black and gold sword light shot across the sky. Bai Fengshui had no time to parry. She was sent flying backward and crashed heavily into a pillar in the banquet hall. The entire hall fell into a dead silence. Just then, Bai Lingye, who had just finished his business, walked into the banquet hall, just in time to see Bai Fengshui being sent flying by a single sword strike. His expression instantly froze. "Fengshui?" At this moment, Bai Fengshui's mind was blank. She stood up, looking at the nearly shattered longsword in her hand. "I was defeated in a single move." Her eyes were filled with bewilderment. At this moment, the system's voice sounded, "Mission complete. Reward obtained. True soul of the final azure heaven. Ability, laws of the heavenly Tao. Obtain the protection of the heavenly Tao. Determine calamities, dissolve opportunities, and gather the boundless fortune of the mortal world." Xiao Guo saw the reward description and almost cried out in shock. "I've never heard of anyone comprehending the heavenly Tao. And the heavenly Tao would even grant its protection?" A roar exploded in Xiao Guo's sea of consciousness. The misty spiritual platform suddenly became clear. He saw the soul of the heavenly Tao deep within his consciousness, slowly rotating. At this moment, Xiao Guo stood still. His eyes emitted a pale golden light. Suddenly, Bai Lingye's voice pulled him back to his senses. "Ye family brat, how did you do that? Maybe it's just talent." "Just a stroke of luck." Bai Lingye's mouth twitched. His expression was complicated. Meanwhile, Bai Fengshui had recovered her senses. She looked up at Xiao Guo, her eyes growing brighter and brighter. A special feeling spread through Bai Fengshui's heart. "Father, you know what to do now, right?" Bai Lingye was stunned. Then he suddenly roared, "Yeah, family brat, do you have any respect for my Bai family? Not only did you injure a guest, you dared to harm my daughter in public." Before he could finish, Bai Fengshui suddenly stood in front of Xiao Guo. Gao Qiqiao was the one who provoked him first. He deserved to be taught a lesson. As for me, I willingly challenged him to a duel. I accept my defeat wholeheartedly. "Father, why are you being so unreasonable?" The onlookers were too shocked to speak. Even Xiao Guo was stunned. Bai Lingye was also frozen in place, a look of confusion on his face. Then, Bai Fengshui turned to look at Xiao Guo. "I accept my defeat wholeheartedly. I'm very happy to have met an expert like you today. I'm also very happy to have met you." Hearing this, Bai Fengshui's eyes lit up and joy appeared on her face. He said, "He's happy to have met me. I have other matters to attend to, so I can't stay long. I will definitely visit another day to apologize. It's all right. You can just come next time." Xiao Guo cupped his fists in a salute. Then he left with Kong Feng. Watching Xiao Guo leave, Bai Lingye couldn't help but sigh. What kind of monster did Ye Yuantian give birth to? Is the Ai family going to suppress my Bai family forever? Father, find some time to go to the Ye family
and arranged the marriage between me and Xiao Guo. What nonsense are you talking about? Haven't you always wanted me to get married? Now I have a candidate. Xiao Guo is very powerful. Meanwhile, at the IA residence, Xiao Guo walked into the courtyard carrying the Supreme Emperor sword. I'm back. In the courtyard, Ye Yuantian and Liu Huyan were standing under the corridor, staring at Xiao Guo with shocked eyes. I did perform well at the Bai family's place, but there's no need to be this surprised, is there? In that case, let's discuss your marriage with the Bai family's girl. What marriage? What happened? Bai Lingya just called to propose his marriage.
Bai Fengshui said it herself. She won't marry anyone but you. What on earth did you do to her? Xiao Guo immediately recounted what had happened. So, what's your attitude towards this matter now? I don't have any thoughts on it right now. I don't even know her well. Right now, I just want to improve my strength as quickly as possible. After hearing this, the couple didn't say any more. A moment later, Ye Yuantian suddenly thought of something. In a few days, the Earth Spirit Forest will open. At that time, almost all the prodigies of the Great Xia will enter. You should go too. Information about the Earth Spirit Forest appeared in Xiao Guo's mind. It's a strange space that only opens once every 100 years. It's filled with all sorts of opportunities, and even countless powerful Dao spirits. To break through to the fourth order, you need the help of a Dao spirit. The natural Dao spirits in the Earth Spirit Forest are the most suitable for you. Get ready. There are many ancient beasts inside. Be extremely careful. I understand. Don't worry. If I find a suitable Dao spirit, I'll be able to break through to the fourth order directly. I'm going to rest for a bit. With that, Xiao Guo turned and left. As he passed the cultivation room, he saw Hua Ziyue cultivating. Hua Ziyue sat cross-legged, the spiritual energy around her in turmoil. Suddenly, her expression changed drastically. The spiritual energy in her body instantly flowed backward. Seeing this, Xiao Guo quickly went forward to help her. In an instant, a stream of rich spiritual energy flowed into Hua Ziyue's body, instantly calming the turbulent spiritual energy.
Is that you, young master? It's me. Why do you have so many hidden injuries? To keep up with you, young master, I've been cultivating day and night. I've even forced breakthroughs several times. Xiao Guo sighed, he bit his finger, and fed his blood to Hua Ziyue. Before long, the assistance was complete. Young master, I'll accompany you to the Earth Spirit Forest this time. Then you should rest well. With that, Xiao Guo left. But Hua Ziyue's eyes were calm. The hidden injuries and the cultivation deviation were all intentional. My efforts over the past few days were not in vain. Time passed quickly, and the day the Earth Spirit Forest opened arrived. On the eastern peak of Mount Tianqiang, Ye Yuantian and Xiao Guo appeared at the entrance to the Earth Spirit Forest. Hua Ziyue followed behind Xiao Guo. You must be careful of the beasts inside. If you meet anyone you know, you can cooperate with them, especially the girl from the Bai family. Xiao Guo nodded. Then he entered the portal with Hua Ziyue. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Earth Spirit Forest, a white-haired young man stepped out of the void. His brows were furrowed with deep-seated hatred. Xiaolong, are you sure there's an opportunity here for me to break through to the martial god realm? As his voice fell, the ancient ring on the young man's finger flickered slightly. A phantom figure of an old man appeared. Yes, that's good. Sooner or later, I will get my revenge on Xiao Guo. I also have a grudge against the IA family. Let's help each other achieve our goals. Thinking of this, Yao Hanye recalled the past. 4 or 5 years ago, he was an employee at a club. He personally witnessed how Xiao Guo spent money like water. Later, his girlfriend, disgusted by his poverty, used the opportunity to get a job at the club, wanting to climb into Xiao Guo's bed. Unexpectedly, she was fired from the club. When Yao Hanye found out, he went to confront Xiao Guo, but Xiao Guo broke one of his hands. From then on, Yao Hanye swore to become strong. By chance, he awakened a powerful talent. And 6 months ago, he found this ring in an antique shop. Xiao Huang was attached to the ring. He claimed to be a martial god expert. Elder Xiao, how did you end up like this? I was ambushed by Ye Yuantian. My physical body was destroyed, and I was trapped in this ring. Your constitution is special, kid. That's what allowed me to awaken. Enough about that. There's a secret realm here with a top-grade natural Dao spirit. There's also a dragon taming pool.
I will do everything I can to help you obtain these opportunities. You just need to help me reconstruct my body in the future. When the time comes, I will definitely repay you. But both of them had ulterior motives. Yao Hanye planned to refine Xiao Huang directly after he grew stronger, and Xiao Huang planned to possess Yao Hanye in the Earth Spirit Forest. Meanwhile, Xiao Guo had just killed a fourth-order beast. He only used a single sword strike. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Xiao Huang, as a martial god, brought chaos to the world. He committed all kinds of evil. After being killed by Ye Yuantian, he attached himself to Yao Hanye. After possessing Yao Hanye in the Earth Spirit Forest, he will join forces with the Beast God to destroy the Great Xia. New mission: kill the traitor, Xiao Huang. Reward: God-tier talent, heart of the final samsara. Xiao Guo gasped. He finally understood. A martial god expert. Even though it's just a remnant soul, I can't let my guard down. I need to find a way to determine Xiao Huang's current combat strength. Let's go look around and see if there are any other families. Then Huaziyue followed Xiao Guo to search the surroundings. Unexpectedly, they searched for a long time but found no one. So the two of them sat down to rest under a tree. Suddenly, a peak third-order giant green snake leapt out from the distance. Seeing this, Xiao Guo quickly raised his hand and waved. An ice dragon roared out and slammed fiercely into the giant snake. The giant snake was sent flying, smashing through a patch of ancient trees, but only a few of its scales were damaged. Xiao Guo frowned. The giant snake, seeing that the situation was not in its favor, turned to flee. Xiao Guo held the emperor's sword and swung out a sword light. In an instant, the sword light was about to strike the giant snake. Just then, a cloud of black mist surged out from the giant snake's body and blocked the attack. A hoarse roar came from within the black mist. This is the offspring I spent 50 years nurturing you, trying to act mysterious. The black mist may look intimidating, but it doesn't even have any spiritual power. Xiao Guo attacked again. The giant snake was instantly cut in two. The next second, the black mist roared. Despicable human, I have memorized your aura. Xiao Guo casually swung his sword. The black mist was instantly scattered. However, the next moment, the system's voice sounded. New mission: kill the beast god's offspring hidden in the underground lake, the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent. Reward: God, tier Dio Spirit, Myriad Realms, Soul. That black mist just now must have been the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent. The reward is actually a soul-type Dio Spirit. Isn't Xiao Huang a soul body? My heaven-defying luck is at work. We're going to the Earth Spirit Lake now. What are we going there for? Didn't that black mist just threaten us? So now we're going to deal with it. At this moment, at the Emperor's Tomb Lake, an extremely large serpent's shadow appeared on the water's surface. It was the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent. Its eyes were filled with killing intent. As the offspring of the beast god, I was placed here to accumulate power and invade this world. I finally managed to produce my first offspring, and it was killed. I will have my revenge just as the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent was about to search for Xiao Guo's location. A sudden, arrogant, young man's voice boomed. You insignificant beast! You will be the first blood I spill today. The young master of the Huai family, Huai An, stood in the air. Seeing this, the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent was instantly enraged. It hadn't even avenged its previous loss, and now another reckless brat had come to provoke it. Thinking of this, it instantly charged at Huai An. However, Huai An didn't dodge. He sneered, I have already seen your future. In an instant, countless future scenarios appeared in Huai An's mind. This was Huai An's SSS-Rank talent, the ability to briefly see all possibilities within the next 3 minutes. The next second, Huai An's figure flickered. He swung his longsword, each strike aimed at a vital point. The man and the beast were locked in battle. However, the more the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent fought, the more alarmed it became. Its every attack was predicted in advance. As the offspring of the beast god, it instantly guessed its opponent's ability. Suddenly, the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent erupted with black mist, instantly creating hundreds of serpent bodies, which pounced on Huai An from countless angles. Seeing this, Huai An's pupils shrank. The future wasn't supposed to be like this. Could it be that this beast is shrouded by some great karma? At this point, Huai An could only defend himself continuously, while the Azure Heaven Demonic Serpent attacked relentlessly. Cold sweat began to form on Huai An's forehead. Then, his expression changed. He quickly retreated. and turned to flee at top speed. Seeing this, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent instantly gave chase. The Azure Heaven demonic serpent opened its massive jaws. Look behind you. The Azure Heaven demonic serpent turned its head. It saw a black and gold sword light tearing through the sky. Xiao Guo, wielding the supreme emperor sword, descended from the heavens. The Azure Heaven demonic serpent quickly dodged the sword light. The next second, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent realized and roared in fury. "It's you! I'm going to kill you!" But Xiao Guo gave it no chance. He directly unleashed countless bolts of lightning. Then frost spread, and an ice dragon charged out to attack. Seeing this, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent let out a great roar and charged forward as well. Meanwhile, Hua Ziyue went to Huayan's side and supported him. At this moment, in the sky above, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent was covered in cold sweat. It was completely suppressed by Xiao Guo. Even its scales were showing traces of blood, some even shattering. "Weren't you going to kill me?" "Go on," the Azure Heaven demonic serpent sneered. Only a powerful weapon and fire attribute spiritual power could truly threaten it, just as it was about to counterattack. Unexpectedly, black flames erupted around Xiaoguo. Then, a layer of golden light covered the supreme emperor sword. Seeing this, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent's heart skipped a beat. It had no time to dodge. Its body was sliced into pieces by the sword. Its scream shook the heavens. The Azure Heaven demonic serpent quickly released a black light and began to destroy everything indiscriminately. The next second, a large patch of dark clouds appeared in the sky. Boundless mortal world. To see me is to see the heavens. As the Azure Heaven demonic serpent watched in shock, countless bolts of divine lightning from the ninth heaven rained down, striking the Azure Heaven demonic serpent directly. It was instantly blasted into countless pieces by the divine lightning of the heavenly Dao. But Xiaoguo frowned. He hadn't received the notification that the mission was complete. Thinking of this, he suddenly turned his head. At this moment, on the other side of the forest, a small snake crawled out. It sneered, "Luckily, I have a life-saving technique, foolish human." However, the next second, Xiao Guo descended from the sky, looking down at the Azure Heaven demonic serpent with an indifferent gaze. The dignified offspring of the beast god, in order to survive, is pretending to be a common garter snake. Hearing this, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent's face turned pale. "How do you know my identity? Who are you?" The Azure Heaven demonic serpent's eyes were filled with terror. "You don't need to know who I am. You only need to know that your end is near." The Azure Heaven demonic serpent's heart trembled. "I am the child of the beast god. If you don't kill me, when my father god descends, he will surely grant you glory and wealth. He'll give you the same status and wealth as the four great families. I am the young master of the Yi family." Xiaoguo, the Azure Heaven demonic serpent, froze. Seeing that Xiaoguo was about to strike, suddenly a black hole exploded around the Azure Heaven demonic serpent. Then, it retreated into the black hole at an incredible speed. "I'll make snake soup out of you today." Seeing this, Xiaoguo was instantly enraged and raised his sword, charging into the black hole after it. Meanwhile, in a space filled with lava, Yao Hanye and Xiao Huang appeared. "Elder Xiao, is my opportunity really here?" "That's right, I remember there's a dragon taming pool here. After so many years, it must have attracted countless Dao spirits. Your current realm is just right for advancing to the fourth order. A single top-grade Dao spirit will be enough." Xiao Huang spoke in a kind tone. Yao Hanye's face was full of gratitude. The two looked at each other and smiled, a deep bond between master and disciple, but each had their own ulterior motives. Before long, Yao Hanye prepared to dive into the depths of the lava. At this moment, a shocking spiritual power fluctuation suddenly erupted in the distance. Countless brilliant points of light emerged from the lava. Countless spirits seemed to dance, each one emitting a Dao rhythm. Deep within the lava, a black and red dragon-shaped light slowly emerged. A top-grade Dao spirit and a rare dragon-taming soul spirit at that. "Go and seize it, quickly." Hearing this, Yao Hanye prepared to go forward and seize the top-grade Dao spirit. However, a black hole suddenly appeared. Immediately after, a wail was heard. "Is it really necessary to chase me so relentlessly?" The azure heaven demonic serpent had just emerged from the black hole. When it was cut in two by a sword light, Yao Hanya and Xiao Huang stood frozen in place. The next second, Xiao Guo emerged from the black hole. At the same time, the system's voice sounded. Mission complete. Obtained God-tier Dao Spirit, Myriad Soul Mirror. Can absorb and convert the power of any Dao Spirit. After awakening a divine ability, the grade of the divine ability will be determined by the number of Dao Spirits absorbed. Immediately after, a Dao Spirit resembling a miniature black hole appeared in Xiao Guo's hand. Before he could take a closer look, Yao Hanye's hate-filled roar rang out. You Xiao Guo? Hearing this, Xiao Guo subconsciously turned his head. He saw on the distant lava lake Yao Hanye glaring at him with furious eyes. And he saw the hundreds of Dao spirits dancing above the lava. Xiao Guo instantly remembered the function of the Myriad Soul Mirror. However, before he could activate it, the Myriad Soul Mirror suddenly flew out of his hand and towards the group of Dao spirits. Then, a terrifying devouring power erupted. A dozen Dao spirits were instantly sucked into the black hole. The next second, the surrounding space began to shake violently. The entire lava world began to collapse. This space is collapsing, run! Hearing this, Yao Hanye looked unwillingly at the group of Dao spirits and grabbed the nearest one. Xiao Guo, you just wait! Then he quickly fled. I cultivate the pitch-black scorching sun. There's no way I'll be hurt by the lava. It's time to advance to the fourth order. Xiao Guo, on the other hand, had a puzzled look, watching the two of them leave. Then he looked at the Myriad Soul Mirror. Yao Hanye, covered in injuries, ran out of the space. He opened his palm. The low-grade Dao spirit in his hand was already on the verge of death. Xiao Guo, you cost me my top-grade Dao spirit. Hurry up and absorb the Dao spirit. Advance to the fourth order. Advance to the fourth order now. Kill that kid. Maybe you can even snatch his Dao spirit. Yao Hanye gritted his teeth. Once I advance, I will definitely kill Xiao Guo. Inside the space, Xiao Guo stared at the Myriad Soul Mirror. The core of the black hole, originally as black as ink, was now twinkling with specks of starlight. Could it be that my heaven-defying luck is at work again? As his voice fell, the Myriad Soul Mirror suddenly trembled. A vast, ocean-like wave of pure spiritual power instantly erupted. It was all pure energy converted from the devoured Dao spirits. Seeing this, Xiao Guo's eyes lit up. He immediately sat down cross-legged and began to absorb it. A violent torrent of spiritual power instantly poured into his meridians. Under the impact of the violent energy, the realm barrier was instantly broken through. Third order, fifth level. Finally, it stabilized at the peak of the third order. Let me see your true power. With that, Xiao Guo reached out and grabbed. The Myriad Soul Mirror instantly sank into his chest. A soul storm erupted in his sea of consciousness. The space of his sea of consciousness expanded tenfold, visible to the naked eye. At the same time, his soul power underwent a qualitative change. Xiao Guo's 5 senses were instantly enhanced by several levels. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Obtained God-tier divine ability, Soul-Forged Sword, can generate soul power to suppress any soul, increases one's own power by at least 50%. Obtained God-tier divine ability, Myriad Soul Annihilation, can forcibly strip the target's soul, crush it, and completely annihilate it, leaving no chance for reincarnation or a lingering spirit. With these 2 divine abilities, I'm confident I can kill Xiao Huang directly. Xiao Guo's eyes lit up. Then, a brilliant spiritual light erupted from Xiao Guo's body. Breakthrough to the fourth order, Xuanling Realm. Feeling the vast power, Xiao Guo immediately got up and left the lava space. He had just stepped outside when a giant fire dragon suddenly roared and charged at him. Xiao Guo raised his hand and waved. The giant fire dragon instantly dissipated into a sky full of sparks. I swore an oath back then that I would make you kneel before me and beg for mercy. Yao Hanya was alarmed to see the flames so easily dispelled. His heart shuddered. Who the hell are you? At the same time, he condensed dozens of ice dragon scales. The Supreme Emperor's sword also erupted with a dazzling sword light. He instantly charged towards Yao Hanya. Yao Hanya was so frightened by the sight that he almost jumped. At this moment, Xiao Guo also sensed Xiao Huang's soul fluctuations.
His eyes were filled only with the desire to complete the mission. Yao Hanye considered himself invincible in this world and charged directly at Xiao Guo. The two of them threw their fists. The moment their fists collided, Yao Hanye's right arm bones shattered inch by inch. Xiao Guo gave him no chance to speak and threw a second punch, instantly crushing Yao Hanye's throat on the spot. Yao Hanye was sent flying backward and slammed heavily into the rock wall. His eyes were filled with disbelief. "You are not worthy of being my opponent. Tell that old thing hiding in your body to get out here." A dignified martial god, the soul of a powerful expert, is now hiding in someone else's body like a dog. Your life ends here. At this moment, Xiao Huang's soul trembled violently. This kid not only saw through my existence at a glance, he even knows my true identity. An unprecedented panic arose in Xiao Huang's heart, but his soul still materialized. "I don't care how you know. Today you must lose." He turned sharply to Yao Hanye. "Lend me your body. If we drag this out any longer, we'll both lose." Yao Hanye gritted his teeth and nodded. The next second, Xiao Huang's soul took control of the body. Yao Hanye's aura became incredibly powerful. "Now killing you will be like crushing an ant." Xiao Guo sneered. The soul-forging realm in his body suddenly expanded. An invisible domain instantly enveloped a 1,000-meter radius. At this moment, Xiao Huang's expression changed drastically. He discovered in horror that his power was suppressed to less than 50%. Even the connection between his soul and his physical body was becoming unstable. Xiao Guo swung down with the supreme emperor sword. In an instant, a black and gold sword aura descended like divine punishment. Xiao Huang had no time to react. He was sent flying by the strike. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes filled with horror. "This is impossible! How can you be even more of a monster than Yi Yuan-Tian?" Xiao Guo sneered. Then, lightning erupted from his body, paralyzing all of Xiao Huang's people. Before Xiao Huang could react, Xiao Guo let out a low shout. 10,000 souls synchronization. Instantly, an immense soul pressure erupted. The power of the Dao spirit transformed into countless soul chains, instantly wrapping around Xiao Huang's soul body. As Xiao Huang reeled in shock, he suddenly felt a sharp pain. His soul was being forcibly torn from Yao Hanye's body. At the same time, a sword aura slashed down. Xiao Huang's soul body rapidly withered under the sword's light. His heart pounded with fear. His mind was filled with only one thought: escape. So Xiao Huang burned his soul power and forcibly used a secret technique to drill back into Yao Hanye's body. Then he controlled Yao Hanye's body and fled frantically. Seeing this, Xiao Guo quickly gave chase. At that moment, Yao Hanye's consciousness awakened. He regained control of his body. "My dear, think of something. Your delaying tactic is working wonderfully. I have a divine ability that can open a passage for us to escape." When Yao Hanye heard this, he quickly nodded and sped up his escape. "Once the passage opens, I'll throw the ring straight through." But the next moment, Xiao Huang pushed him forward. His spiritual body instantly left Yao Hanye's body. Then, Yao Hanye rushed uncontrollably toward Xiao Guo. Before he could react, the black and gold sword alight, like the Grim Reaper's scythe, slashed down. Yao Hanye was cut into a bloody mist with a single strike. Seeing this, Xiao Huang quickly activated his divine ability. In an instant, the space in the entire Earth Spirit Forest became unstable. A huge black hole appeared out of thin air in front of Xiao Huang. He immediately jumped into the black hole to escape. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Huang arrived in a void. He relaxed. "Looks like I'll have to find a new vessel. With my spatial, divine abilities and secret treasures, no one can catch me. I'll get my revenge on that kid later." But just as he finished speaking, a huge rift was suddenly torn open, and the time around him stopped. "A rat like you should just crawl back into your grave." Xiao Guo stepped into the void, holding the Supreme Emperor Sword. Xiao Huang felt the aura of the cold cicada's tear. His expression froze, and he screamed. "A 9th rank space-time secret treasure. How is this possible?" Xiao Guo sneered. He hadn't expected this either. When Xiao Huang entered the black hole earlier, the cold cicada's tear in his body appeared on its own, tore open the void, and gave chase. "I never thought this secret treasure could be used like this." At this moment, Xiao Huang gritted his teeth. He directly burned his spiritual body and used a secret technique to forcibly invade Xiao Guo's sea of consciousness with his soul. Xiao Huang stared at Xiao Guo's sea of consciousness, stunned. But he quickly began to burn the origin of his soul body.
A bloody light erupted from his body. He planned to attract a projection of the heavenly Tao to kill Xiao Guo. A moment later, Xiao Guo's sea of consciousness began to tremble violently. The sky of the sea of consciousness cracked open, and a blurry phantom descended amidst immense lightning. Xiao Huang's face showed ecstasy, but the next second, his face filled with terror, because that phantom looked exactly like Xiao Guo. Before he could figure it out, the immense, divine lightning struck down like heavenly judgment. Xiao Huang's soul was instantly scattered and destroyed. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Mission complete. Reward obtained. The power of Nirvana reincarnation, Heart Smoke. It can mask all great Deos, even seize an opponent's Deo and use it to empower oneself. It can also imbue the power of the Tao into certain objects. In an instant, Xiao Guo felt a wave of misfortune wash over him. An aura of adversity spread through him. Even the cold cicada's terror trembled and retreated into his dantian. Meanwhile, on the other side of the earth, Spirit Forest, Huaiyan stared at the huge rift in the sky, so scared his eyeballs almost popped out. Out of curiosity, Huaiyan decided to activate his skill, to foresee Xiao Guo's future. Huaiyan looked around. Xiao Guo's residual spiritual energy was the perfect medium. Without hesitation, his eyes instantly turned pale white, his pupils seemingly connected to the river of time. In an instant, the scene before him distorted. A monstrous sea of blood, mountains of corpses. The entire world seemed to be soaked in blood. Countless broken weapons were stuck in the ground. Only a single pale figure stood silently. Seeing this, Huaiyan's heart pounded wildly. Just as he tried to see more details, the figure suddenly turned its head. The vision before him instantly shattered. Huaiyan felt as if he had been struck by lightning, and spat out a mouthful of blood. "What's wrong with you?" Seeing this, Huazue was shocked, and quickly supported him. Huaiyan's face was deathly pale, his mind filled with questions. What was that figure? Xiao Guo's future is nothing but emptiness and destruction. He will become an incredibly terrifying existence. Thinking of this, Huaiyan trembled all over. At this moment, Xiao Guo stepped out of the rift. When Huazue saw him, her eyes lit up. Just as she was about to speak, Huaiyan had already rushed forward. "Big bro, from this day on, you are my sworn brother. Anyone who opposes you is an enemy of my Hui family." Hearing this, Xiao Guo was speechless. What on earth is this guy talking about? Just then, the spatial rift suddenly expanded. Everything around was distorted and destroyed. "Oh no, the spatial rift is affecting this space, young master. We have to go." Xiao Guo nodded. "Let's go." Not long after, Xiao Guo and Huazue left the Earth Spirit Forest. Huaiyan, on the other hand, returned to the Huai family first. Inside the Earth Spirit Forest, the others also noticed the spatial rift, and chose to leave one after another. Soon, Xiao Guo returned to the Ye family. At this moment, Ye Yuantian was sitting in his study, staring at Xiao Guo, dumbfounded. "You're saying you offed Xiao Huang? Even if he was just a remnant soul, he was still an old monster at the martial god level." Ye Yuantian sized up Xiao Guo, his expression changing from shock to relief. "As expected of my child. It's a pity the Earth Spirit Forest was destroyed so quickly. I'm afraid you didn't even find a decent Dio spirit. Have you reached the mid-stage of the 3rd rank yet? I've already broken through to the 4th rank Profound Spirit Realm." Ye Yuantian naturally didn't believe him. He placed his hand on Xiao Guo, preparing to investigate. The next second, from within Xiao Guo's body, the terrifying power contained in the Tao spirit was released. "Well done, you kid. This is a heaven-sent opportunity." Just then, Huaiyan arrived at the Ai family. Xiao Guo went to the courtyard to greet him. "What are you doing here? I don't think we're that close. I came specially to see you, big bro. The Huai family just received intelligence. A massive blessed land has appeared in the northern desert. It's about half the size of the imperial capital. Countless treasures can be sensed inside. Big bro, let's go together." Xiao Guo was stunned to hear this. "You should know blessed lands contain countless opportunities. Every single one is extremely precious. There might even be secret treasures that have never appeared before." Thinking of this, Xiao Guo grabbed Huaiyan's hand. "Good brother, wait for me a moment." Xiao Guo turned to report to Ye Yuantian. Not long after, Xiao Guo and Huaiyan departed on the Spirit Arc. The two passed through several cities and arrived in the northern desert. The fierce wind whipped sand against the spirit ark's protective shield. The long journey made Huaiyan feel uncomfortable. He wiped the sweat from his forehead. We're still some distance from our destination. Bro, let's find a place to rest first. Xiao Guo nodded after hearing this. Afterward, the two landed in a small town on the edge of the desert. Then they found an inn to stay in. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded. Disguised location of the myriad demon mother nest. Awaiting the awakening of the outer domain heavenly demon, Xiao. Issuing mission. Mission 1. Slay the old god, the myriad demon mother nest. Mission 2. Slay the culprit, Xiao. Mission reward 1. Supreme grade heavenly dream of nothingness. Mission reward 2. God grade divine ability, hand of the heavens. I'm afraid the blessed land we're going to this time is the myriad demon mother nest. I need to find Xiao. I need to find a way to complete both missions. At this moment, Xiao Guo was shocked. While Xiao Guo was thinking, the owner brought a plate of candied spirit fruits to the room, a homemade specialty of the northern desert. Two handsome young men, please have a taste. Thank you, owner. Is this a local specialty? Of course. It looks like you two are from a big city. My son is about your age. Unfortunately, he got sick and had to drop out of school. To pay for his treatment, I sold our house. I had no choice but to come back to my hometown and open an inn. Hearing this, Huaiyan paused. And your wife? She sold her Dantian to the black market, and her body broke down. We've both accepted our fate. After speaking, the owner forced a smile. The room became unusually quiet. After a moment of silence, Xiao Guo took out a pill. This is a 6 revolution spirit returning pill. It should be able to help your family. Seeing this, the owner hurriedly waved his hands. At this time, Huaiyan also took out a pouch. Here are some spirit stones. It should be enough for follow-up treatment? The middle-aged owner trembled all over, his eyes red. He knelt and kowtowed 3 times. Seeing this, Xiao Guo quickly helped the owner up. Hurry home and give the medicine to your child. The owner thanked them again and immediately left the room. Not long after, he returned home. He was about to tell his family the good news, but unexpectedly, he saw his son pierce through his wife's body. The owner broke down and shouted, "What are you doing?" Xiao Long, but he was met with his son's unfamiliar gaze. He didn't know his son had been possessed by Sha Chenxiao. At this moment, Sha Chenxiao sneered, "I'm just borrowing your son's body. Do 2 temporary ants deserve to be my parents?" With that, he rushed forward and pierced the owner's heart. Then he began to absorb the owner's cultivation. A moment later, Sha Chenxiao recovered to the peak of the 4th rank. Still too weak. If I can find the legendary Taishu spirit body and sacrifice it to the mother nest, I might be able to reach my peak within 5 years. As his voice fell, Sha Chenxiao noticed the pill in the owner's hand. His eyes narrowed. The aura on this? The next day, Xiao Guo and Huaiyan had just come downstairs, planning to head to the blessed land. Suddenly, the owner pushed the door open and entered. A purple glint flashed in his eyes. "Thank you both for the pill. My family is all better now." Huaiyan didn't notice anything unusual, but Xiao Guo's brow twitched. His eyes narrowed, staring intently at the owner. Just then, the owner's son also walked in. Huaiyan said, "It's good that you're okay. Big bro, let's go. Let's not let someone else get to that blessed land first." Xiao Guo nodded. "Are you two also here for the blessed land in the northern desert?" However, Sha Chenxiao walked over. Huaiyan was stunned. "Who are you? How do you know about the blessed land?" "I was born in the northern desert, but I later went to a faraway place. Now I'm a traveler. My name is Sha Chenxiao." Xiao Guo suddenly sneered. He thought to himself, "I can't believe he delivered himself to my doorstep, but I can't just act rashly now. I need to use him to find the mother nest's main body. After all, the blessed land is too big." Meanwhile, Sha Chenxiao couldn't stop smiling. He never expected to encounter the Taishu spirit body he'd been dreaming of right after transmigrating. At this moment, Huaiyan was confused, so he activated Future Sight. A moment later, Huaiyan said, "We're from a small family. We just got the news. My talent is very suitable for finding blessed lands, so we can get there first. Why don't we travel together? I'm just going to take a look inside. I won't take a single thing. How about it? Ha 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 ha! Of course, you can. Then let's set off now." Then the 3 of them were about to leave. Xiao Guo glanced at the middle-aged owner. "Don't worry, I will avenge you."
A moment later, the three of them boarded the spirit ark. Sha Chenxiao's gaze swept over the complex array patterns carved on it. A trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. A flying artifact of this quality, even in my original world, is considered rare. On the other side, Xiao Guo and Huai An had already communicated, but what he didn't know was that Huai An had more than a dozen tricks up his sleeve. Meanwhile, Sha Chenxiao was still thinking about his plan to awaken the mother nest, unaware that the two had already discovered his true identity. With this knowledge, Xiao Guo could easily play him to death. Time passed, second by second. The spirit ark quickly approached its destination. The originally clear sky suddenly became overcast. Violent lightning rolled within the clouds. On the distant horizon, a huge vortex slowly rotated. The surrounding space twisted and deformed, as if connecting to another world. Countless bolts of purple lightning as thick as buckets exploded. Seeing this, Sha Chenxiao spoke with a grave expression. "Be careful, you two. This thunderstorm is unusual. The entrance is also sealed. I'm afraid we can only wait until the thunderstorm ends." Huaiyan interrupted him impatiently. Then he took out a jade plate from his storage ring. The jade plate emitted ripples that spread out. The sky, full of lightning, instantly dispersed. Seeing this, Sha Chenxiao's pupils shrank. "This is a 7th rank spirit treasure. Back when I was a heavenly demon commander, I only had one 7th rank demonic artifact to protect myself. How can this junior possess such a valuable treasure?" While he was in shock, Huai An had already put away the jade plate. Sha Chenxiao looked at Huai An, a trace of greed flashing in his eyes. However, before Sha Chenxiao could recover, a crystal-clear jade cicada appeared in Xiao Guo's palm. The crisp sound of a cicada's chirp echoed through the world. The surrounding space shattered inch by inch like a mirror. The spatial entrance, which would have originally taken several days to open naturally, was forcibly torn open. Sha Chenxiao felt this aura and was completely stunned. A 9th rank secret treasure, aren't they from a small family? How are the things they take out more outrageous than the last? Soon, the spirit ark passed through the entrance. The three entered a strange space. The spirit ark landed steadily. Sha Chenxiao suppressed the storm raging in his heart. "Forgive my impertinence, but who exactly are you two?" "Just ordinary people. It's just that our fathers happen to be martial gods, that's all." After hearing this, Sha Chenxiao was filled with regret. Why did I have to pick these two big shots? At this point, Xiao Guo and Huai An had already walked some distance. Sha Chenxiao quickly chased after them. He secretly circulated the heavenly demon's secret art, sensing the location of the mother nest's origin. Soon, a faint resonance came from the northwest. Sha Chenxiao feigned excitement. He pointed to a deep canyon. "I think I sense the fluctuation of a secret treasure. It's over there. Then let's go take a look." So the three of them, each with their own thoughts, headed towards the canyon. Soon they approached the canyon. Sha Chenxiao's face darkened. He was about to attack the two of them when the ground suddenly exploded. A giant black insect burst out of the ground. The ferocious aura of a peak 4th rank creature swept in all directions. This is an offspring of the mother nest. Its strength far exceeds that of martial artists of the same rank. It's extremely difficult to kill. Sha Chenxiao's expression changed drastically. Just as Sha Chenxiao was about to flee, a clear sword cry suddenly echoed through the canyon. Xiao Guo stood with his sword. The giant insect's massive body was blasted into a bloody mist by the sword light. Even its remnant soul was crushed by the sword intent. At this moment, Sha Chenxiao stood there, dumbfounded. His mind was a complete blank. After Xiao Guo killed the giant insect, he sensed a Dao power that could be plundered. His eyes lit up, but sensing the sinister and vile nature of the opponent's Dao, he immediately understood it was the Dao of poison. Before Xiao Guo could make a move, an earth-shattering roar suddenly sounded. The three of them looked up abruptly. They saw a 30-zhang-long black centipede burst out of the ground. A 5th rank aura spread out. Seeing this, Huai An's expression changed drastically, but Sha Chenxiao stared intently at the centipede's head. A blood-colored crystal was embedded there. It was the mother nest's origin. The next second, the centipede spoke in a human voice, its eyes filled with tyranny. "Ha ha ha, I haven't seen this kind of bloodstone in many years." Sha Chenxiao subconsciously took 2 steps back. At this moment, Xiao Guo frowned. He sensed an abnormal energy fluctuation within the centipede's body.
Suddenly, countless blood-colored tentacles shot out from the centipede's body, instantly sealing the entire space. One of the tentacles directly pierced through Xiao Guo. Seeing this, Sha Chenxiao's face turned ashen. The Taichu spirit body is gone. The centipede also let out a triumphant laugh. I've got you. You can't escape my blockade. But the next second, Xiao Guo's figure slowly dissipated. I'm the one who caught you. His real body appeared above the centipede's head. Around Xiao Guo, a brilliant ice blue light had already erupted. The light transformed into a giant frost dragon and slammed fiercely into the centipede. With a sound like mountains collapsing, the 5th rank centipede was sent flying. Its massive body crashed into and collapsed half a cliff. Sha Chenjiao's jaw dropped. His eyes filled with disbelief. Even Huai-An's eyes lit up. Big bro is awesome! The centipede let out a heaven-shaking roar. Its massive body writhed frantically. It had never suffered such a heavy blow since its birth. The next second, the centipede charged fiercely at Xiao Guo, spitting out highly corrosive poison from its mouth. However, Xiao Guo's figure flickered, and he threw heavy punches. Each punch accurately landed on the centipede's joints. The power of frost invaded its body, along with the force of the punches, freezing cracks into the centipede's carapace. The centipede immediately let out a shrill scream. It was beaten so badly, it started to doubt its existence, so it quickly begged for mercy. Stop hitting me, I can be your mount. Hearing this, Xiao Guo curled his lip in disgust. Sorry, you're too disgusting. Huai and Sha Chenxiao were on the side, watching this one-sided slaughter. They both swallowed hard. The centipede knew it couldn't escape death and decided to self-destruct, to take Xiao Guo down with it. Its entire body lit up with a dazzling red light. A few seconds later, a huge explosion sounded. The terrifying shockwave flattened the entire canyon. Sha Chenxiao was sent flying hundreds of jiang by the blast wave and slammed heavily into the rock wall. Xiao Guo and Huai-An's figures also completely disappeared. There was no movement in the dust-filled sky. Soon, the dust settled. Sha Chenxiao was covered in blood and struggled to climb out of the rubble. Luckily, I stole a life-saving secret treasure from my clan. What a pity about this Taichu spirit body. He sensed the location of the mother nest's origin and prepared to go and collect it. At this moment, Xiao Guo slowly walked out of the dust, holding that blood-colored crystal in his hand. Not only was he unharmed, but not even the corner of his clothes was touched by dust. Sha Chenxiao froze in place. How is this possible? You're not hurt? Hearing this, Xiao Guo said with a half-smile, Aren't you okay too? Xiao Guo carefully examined the blood-colored crystal in his hand. Through his reincarnation heart, he could sense and clearly capture the aura of the Dao origin contained within it. A guess gradually formed in his mind. Sha Chenxiao suddenly forced a smile. Brother Xiao Guo, can you give me that crystal? I think it looks quite nice. I want to study it. Sha Chenxiao was burning with anxiety. The mother nest's origin was within reach, but he didn't dare to snatch it by force, because the strength Xiao Guo had shown was simply terrifying. Fortunately, Xiao Guo casually tossed it, throwing the crystal to him. Since you want it, you can have it. Then Xiao Guo frowned and said, Where's that kid Huai-An? I know where brother Huai-An went. I'll take you there, okay? Xiao Guo smiled. He knew Sha Chenxiao was lying, but Sha Chenxiao didn't know that he also had a plan. With that, the two of them left. Meanwhile, Huai-An rolled out of a spatial rift. Good thing I ran fast. Big bro must be fine. I need to find Big bro quickly. Just then, a commotion was suddenly heard in the distance. Then, 4 powerful auras swept over. Huai-An's eyes darkened. At this moment, in a desolate area, in the center of the distorted space, a giant chrysalis stood quietly. The surface of the chrysalis was covered with strange patterns, like throbbing blood vessels. At this moment, Sha Chenxiao slowly walked towards the chrysalis, his eyes shining with a fanatical light. Xiao Guo looked around and asked, Where's Huai-An? However, Sha Chenxiao didn't answer. He just obsessively caressed the surface of the chrysalis. I've finally arrived. Ha 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 ha! Sha Chenxiao turned around, laughing maniacally. His face was ferocious. I've been lying to you from the very beginning. This is the slumbering place of the mother nest. I bet you didn't know that your Taichu spirit body is the best sacrifice to awaken it. Once it awakens,
This entire world will face a devastating disaster. Hearing this, Xiaoguo suddenly started laughing. So this is the main body of the myriad demon mother nest. Thank you for bringing me here, demon of the outer domain. As his voice fell, Sha Qianxiao's face was filled with terror, but after calming down, he growled, "So what if you know everything will still be sacrificed to the mother nest by me? I will make you leave this world in the most painful way possible." After speaking, Sha Qianxiao took out the mother nest's origin, then he took out his own flesh and blood. The mother nest's origin and his flesh and blood began to glow. The crystal instantly sank into the chrysalis. His flesh and blood spread across the chrysalis's surface like a living thing. The entire space began to tremble violently. A torrent of pure energy descended from the sky, pouring straight into Sha Qianxiao's body. His cultivation broke through to the 5th rank in an instant. Sha Qianxiao knelt piously before the chrysalis. "Revive, my lord." The next second, the chrysalis erupted with a dazzling bloody light. The patterns on its surface writhed frantically. However, a moment later, an explosion sounded. The mountain-like chrysalis exploded. Xiaoguo stood to the side, smiling and shaking his head. When he first got the blood-colored crystal, he had sensed the Dao origin within it through his reincarnation heart, and within his own body, he happened to have a Dao power that countered it. So, Xiaoguo played along, injecting the countering power into the crystal before giving it to Sha Qianxiao. He also extracted the origin belonging to the mother nest. The already weak mother nest larva couldn't withstand this power at all. At this moment, Sha Qianxiao's smile froze. His mind went blank. The next second, the system's voice sounded. "Mission complete. Obtained supreme-grade heavenly dream of nothingness. It can allow the dead to transcend, achieving a state of non-birth and non-death. It can even, to a certain extent, reverse life and death." At this moment, Xiaoguo's pupils turned a starry black and white. He could even sense the soul light of the myriad demon mother nest that was about to dissipate. Just then, Sha Qianxiao erupted with all his strength and threw a heavy punch at Xiaoguo. However, it was easily caught by Xiaoguo. Sha Qianxiao couldn't believe it. He continuously punched at Xiaoguo, but every punch was caught by Xiaoguo. Sha Qianxiao completely broke down. His fighting skills were useless against Xiaoguo. Suddenly, the space twisted violently. The phantom of the myriad demon mother nest gradually solidified behind Xiaoguo. The already broken Sha Qianxiao went completely insane. Didn't the mother nest explode? What the hell is going on? Xiaoguo smiled faintly. You look quite pitiful. I'll have the mother nest send you home. After speaking, Xiaoguo waved his hand coldly. The mother nest behind him suddenly opened its bloody maw. Amidst shrill screams, Sha Qianxiao was swallowed in one gulp. The bloody light around the mother nest intensified, and its aura rose steadily. Finally, it broke through to the 6th rank. Seeing this, Xiaoguo was amazed. As expected of a future old god, it reached the 6th rank just by eating one person. The next second, the surroundings began to change. Everything returned to its original state. This was all just an illusion from the heavenly dream. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Mission complete. Obtained God-grade divine ability, Hand of the Heavens. Wherever it passes, time collapses in reverse, and space shatters layer by layer. Xiaoguo looked at the effects and nodded in satisfaction. Not only did I gain 2 powerful abilities on this trip, but I also got a future old god as a fighter. Xiaoguo couldn't help but sigh at how great his gains were this time. Thinking of this, Xiaoguo suddenly froze. Huaiyan, I almost forgot about that kid. So he immediately turned to the mother nest. Help me find someone. Understood, master. Then, its thousands of compound eyes lit up with a scarlet glow, an invisible mental wave. Instantly covered 1,000 lei radius. It found the direction in just 3 breaths. It's in the southeast. At this moment, Huaiyan was fleeing at high speed. A figure with a 5th rank aura was following him. This person was one of Sha Qianxiao's team members. Sensing the aura on Huaiyan, he had chased him all the way here. Now, the man's eyes were fierce. Then he directly sacrificed his own right arm to shoot out a scarlet sword beam straight at Huaiyan. The sword beam ignored defenses, piercing through Huaiyan's protective spiritual energy. Huaiyan screamed and fell from the sky, crashing heavily into a sand dune. The man instantly closed in. Just as he was about to make his move, the sky suddenly tore apart. A giant claw burst through the clouds, shattering space itself. Then, the mother nest of 10,000 demons descended. Seeing this, the man fell to his knees and shouted, Lord Mother Nest, it's us. We are your kin, however. In the next second, a lazy voice drifted over. Sorry about that. I'm its master. Hearing this, the man snapped his head up. He saw Xiao Guo standing leisurely atop the mother nest's head, as expected of Big Bro. The man, however, refused to believe Xiao Guo's words. He kept shouting, trying to awaken the mother nest. However, the mother nest's giant claw slammed down without hesitation. The man was instantly turned into a mist of blood. Then, the mother nest opened its massive maw and devoured the blood mist. In that instant, the spiritual energy around the mother nest surged. Its cultivation level shot up directly to the 6th order, 3rd stage. Huaihan watched from the side, completely stunned. Big Bro, what in the world is that thing? It used to be a 9th order demon god. Now, it's my subordinate. At this moment, Huaihan's eyes grew fervent. He was just glad he had chosen the right person to follow. Oh, right, Big Bro. I sensed a lot of secret treasures along the way. Let's go find them quickly. Xiao Guo nodded at his words. Afterwards, with the help of the mother nest, the two went on a frantic treasure hunt. Before long, they had discovered many precious secret treasures. They even found some treasures that the Yi family didn't possess. The two of them split the treasures. Then, they prepared to leave. With a single thought from the mother nest, a vortex appeared before them. A vortex. The two entered the spatial vortex, leaving the mother nest. They returned to the great dream of tomorrow. When Xiao Guo opened his eyes again, he found that he was standing in the square of a bustling city. Where the hell did it send me? Am I still in the country? Xiao Guo looked around. He quickly determined his location based on the pedestrians. This is Northwest City. It's thousands of miles from the imperial capital. I would have been better off going to Mobei. Xiao Guo shook his head. Just as he was about to take out his communication jade talisman, a series of harsh insults came from a street corner. In the distance, a white-haired woman was being pushed around. You piece of trash. It's your damn luck that the Zhou family even considered your talent. What's with the act? Compared to your younger sister, you're nothing. The white-haired woman's face was pale, and she had several bruises on her body. Seeing this, Xiao Guo frowned, and in the next moment, the system's voice sounded. Encounter former benefactor, Xiao Ling. She possesses a god tier. New mission, help Xiao Lingling overcome her inner demons. Mission reward, god tier talent, heart lamp illumination. Xiao Guo froze on the spot. She's my benefactor, and she has a god tier talent? After a moment of thought, Xiao Guo walked over. When faced with his benefactor, he couldn't just stand by and do nothing. However, just as Xiao Guo was about to stop this farce, a sharp female voice suddenly rang out. What are you doing? Let go of my sister. The newcomer was Xiao Lingling's younger sister, Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi glanced at Xiao Lingling, a flash of contempt in her eyes. Then, she shielded her sister behind her. Seeing her, the bullies quickly apologized. We're sorry, Sister Xiao Yi. We were just standing up for you. The one who should be marrying young Master Zhou is you. Hearing this, Xiao Yi's lips curled into a slight smirk. But she still scolded them. It's my sister's good fortune to be able to marry young Master Zhou. If you bully her again, I'll make you regret it. Seeing this scene, the people around praised her. At the same time, they cursed at Xiao Lingling. Xiao Lingling couldn't help but lower her head. Thank you, sister. Hearing this, Xiao Yi glanced at her. Then she smiled and said, Don't worry, I'm here. Mother gave you 3 million to buy father's healing pills. Where's the money? Xiao Lingling was stunned. What money? Stop joking, sister. It's fine if you usually hide money, but not this time. Hearing this, Xiao Lingling panicked. Hasn't the money always been with you? What are you talking about? You can't do this. That's father's life-saving money. The people around watched this scene and looked at Xiao Lingling with contempt. Their words were full of curses and filth. Listening to the curses, Xiao Lingling's eyes turned red. She didn't understand why her sister was slandering her. Just as Xiao Lingling was in despair, Xiao Guo stepped forward and spoke. It's just 3 million. Is it necessary to bully someone like this? My spirit hound's meal costs 4 million. Hearing this, Xiao Yi's eyes darkened. What nonsense are you talking about? Before she could finish, Xiao Guo threw out a 6th rank pill. This pill is enough to buy your life. Now scram. Xiao Yi subconsciously caught it. She was about to get angry, but the aura of a top-grade 6th rank pill instantly captivated her. This is a top-grade 6th rank pill. Hearing this, everyone around widened their eyes. The cheapest 6th rank pill on the market cost at least 10 million. At this moment, Xiao Yi's expression was extremely ugly. However, Huaiyan suddenly grabbed Xiao Yi's arm. Xiao Yi's ring lit up and a black card fell out of it. Isn't the money right here on you? The people around were in disbelief watching this scene. Xiao Yi's expression changed instantly. A trace of panic flashed in her eyes. Xiao Lingling also looked at Xiao Yi in disbelief, and Xiao Yi, as if suddenly realizing something, said, "Oh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry for wrongly accusing you, sister." At this moment, Xiao Guo's cold voice suddenly sounded. "Is I made a mistake enough?" Hearing this, Xiao Yi's expression froze. "What do you mean?" Xiao Guo sneered. Huaiyan couldn't hold back any longer. He lunged forward like a fierce tiger and threw a punch straight at Xiao Yi's face. Xiao Yi cried out in pain and fell to the ground, wailing. The scene was dead silent. Everyone's eyes were wide. However, Xiao Yi slowly stood up. At this moment, she wanted to kill Huaiyan, but she had to keep up the act, so Xiao Yi showed a sorrowful smile. "I'm sorry, sister. If getting beaten makes you feel better, I can endure it." Hearing this, Xiao Lingling was completely stunned. Xiao Yi sneered inwardly, but Xiao Guo smiled and said, "You're the one who said it." The next second, Xiao Guo threw a punch, his fist landing squarely on Xiao Yi's face. In an instant, Xiao Yi was sent flying and knocked out cold. The entire place was silent. No one knew what had happened. Xiao Guo turned his head and asked Xiao Lingling, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, thank you." Xiao Guo looked at Xiao Lingling's dirty clothes and sighed, "Come with us." With that, the two of them left with Xiao Lingling. Not long after, Xiao Yi woke up. She struggled to her feet. She thought to herself, "Anyway, on the wedding day, young Master Zhou will break off the engagement with you and marry me. You just wait." Then she left in a sorry state. At this time, Xiao Guo and Huaiyan took Xiao Lingling to buy new clothes. They also took her to a restaurant. During the meal, Xiao Guo asked and learned about Xiao Lingling's situation. Xiao Yi's talent was outstanding, so everything she did was right. But Xiao Lingling awakened the weakest talent, so no matter how hard she worked, she was not favored by the family. However, the young master of the Zhou family was close to Xiao Yi, but he specifically insisted on marrying her. Xiao Lingling naturally didn't want to marry him. At the dinner table, Huaiyan grinned, "We can take you away." Xiao Lingling looked up abruptly, but she quickly lowered her head again. "But who are you people? You injured Xiao Yi. The Zhou family will definitely come after you. You should leave quickly." Hearing this, Xiao Guo and Huaiyan didn't move. Xiao Guo looked at Xiao Lingling calmly. "Since you don't want to marry him, then listen to me." With that, Xiao Guo took out a communication jade slip. "Uncle Kong Feng, I've got a job for you." Meanwhile, in the Xiao family's meeting hall, the entire Xiao family was decorated with lanterns and colored banners, making final preparations for tomorrow's wedding. The head of the Xiao family, Xiao Qushui, sat in the main seat. At this moment, a servant rushed in frantically. "Master, bad news. The Liu family is unwilling to sell us silk and satin. The Zhao family also took the restaurant we booked. The Li family called to take back the spirit arc we rented." One piece of bad news followed another. It was as if someone was secretly targeting the Xiao family's wedding tomorrow. Hearing this, Xiao Qushui slammed his palm on the table, shattering it. What the hell is going on? At this moment, Xiao Guo had not received the mission completion notification. He was lost in thought. Targeting the Xiao family like this still hasn't broken Xiao Lingling's inner demon. It seems I'll have to try dealing with this wedding. Uncle Kongfeng can also arrive before tomorrow. Thinking of this, Xiao Guo spoke. "We'll go with you tomorrow." Hearing this, Xiao Lingling quickly said, "The important figures from the Zhou and Xiao families will all be there tomorrow. My sister won't let you go. I know you're doing this for me, but you can't take this risk." But Xiao Guo and Huaiyan looked at each other and smiled. "Don't worry, just watch tomorrow." Xiao Lingling was helpless, but she knew the two of them must have something to rely on. Time passed slowly. In the blink of an eye, it was the wedding day for the alliance between the Xiao and Zhou families. Inside the Xiao family residence, red silk was hung high and guests were as numerous as clouds. However, Xiao Qushui's expression was terribly gloomy. Where did Xiao Lingling go? She's been missing for 2 whole days. At this moment, Xiao Yi walked to the side. She told him about Xiao Lingling being with Xiao Guo and Huaiyan. After hearing this, Xiao Qushui was furious. Just then, the young master of the Zhou family, Zhou Chusheng, walked in. He and Xiao Yi exchanged a glance, then he stepped forward and spoke. "Uncle Xiao, I have something to tell you."
Just as Zhou Chusheng was about to announce the annulment of his engagement with Xiao Lingling, three figures suddenly appeared outside the door. It was Xiao Guo and the others. Xiao Lingling kept her head down, not daring to speak. Xiao Guo looked at Zhou Chusheng and said, "You're not worthy of Xiaoling. We're here today to break off her engagement." Hearing this, Zhou Chusheng froze in place. All the members of the Xiao family were also stunned. At this moment, Xiao Yi's face darkened. "Guards, seize them!" As her voice fell, two Xiao family guards instantly rushed out. However, the next second, the myriad demon mother nest descended. The terrifying pressure of a sixth-rank fierce beast instantly swept through the entire venue. Those two guards didn't even have time to scream before they were turned into a bloody mist by the myriad demon mother nest. Everyone's expression changed drastically. Zhou Chusheng snapped back from his shock. He gritted his teeth and said, "I am the young master of the Zhou family, backed by the Liu Tianyun sect." "So what?" At this moment, Zhou Chusheng's face was gloomy. He quickly called for his father. Then he looked at Xiao Lingling and roared, "I came here today to break off the engagement and humiliate you anyway. The one I want to marry is your sister." As soon as these words were spoken, Xiao Qushui's expression softened. He sternly shouted, "Xiao Lingling, get your ass over here right now, and apologize to young Master Zhou. Once Patriarch Zhou arrives, let's see what you'll do." Hearing the voices around her, Xiao Lingling began to tremble. But after seeing Xiao Guo give her a gentle nod, her eyes flickered with resolve. She shouted back, "I won't go over there. Since I was little, none of you have ever liked me. I don't need to apologize to anyone." As soon as her words fell, Xiao Lingling's heart suddenly began to beat violently. A strange, warm current surged from her chest to her limbs. Deep within her pupils, two ancient runes emerged. Seeing this, Xiao Guo's eyes lit up. Her talent has awakened. However, a terrifying aura suddenly descended. The Zhou family's patriarch, Zhou Qi, arrived, stepping through the void. He was already a peak 7th rank powerhouse. Xiao Qiushui was overjoyed and hurriedly stepped forward to bow. Zhou Qi swept his gaze across the area, locking onto the myriad demon mother nest. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes as he noticed the extraordinary nature of this fierce beast. "This fierce beast is destined for me. Which little friend offered it up?" As soon as these words were spoken, Xiao Lingling's face turned deathly pale. She subconsciously grabbed the corner of Xiao Guo's clothes. "You're really shameless. What destiny does it have with you?" As Xiao Guo's words fell, the entire venue fell dead silent. Zhou Qi's eyes suddenly turned cold. "You're courting death." He then unleashed a spiritual energy attack at Xiao Guo. A massive wave of energy crushed down. However, an ancient jade talisman in Xiao Guo's hand lit up. A golden barrier instantly expanded, blocking the attack. Seeing this, Zhou Qi's expression changed drastically. "A top-tier secret treasure? Who are you people?" In the next second, a sky-blotting shadow enveloped the entire Xiao family manor. A massive spirit boat hovered above the Xiao family. Everyone looked up. Xiao Guo smiled and retracted the myriad demon mother nest. The spirit boat's cabin door opened and Kangfeng stepped out into the air. He instantly appeared beside Xiao Guo. "Young master." Hearing this, Zhou Qi trembled all over, but Xiao Qushui hadn't yet realized the severity of the situation. Relying on Zhou Ka's presence, he sternly shouted, "How bold! Who dares to trespass into my Xiao family?" However, Kangfeng merely swept an indifferent glance over him. Xiao Qushui's body instantly exploded into a mist of blood. Now, Zhou Qi realized Xiao Guo's identity was extraordinary and hurriedly spoke up. "Oh, this friend here, this is the territory of the Liu Tianyun sect. Uncle Kangfeng, make him shut up." In the next second, Kangfeng suddenly roared, "The young master told you to shut up." As soon as these words were spoken, the entire crowd was horrified. Zhou Qi was instantly shattered into a bloody mist. Seeing this scene, Zhou Chusheng slumped to the ground. Xiao Yi also turned pale, his lips trembling. "Who else has a problem?" Right at this moment, the sound of something tearing through the air came from the distant horizon. The sect master of the Liu Tianyun sect, Yunxia, arrived, stepping through the air. Seeing this, they thought they were saved. Unexpectedly, they witnessed an even more despairing scene. Sect master Yunxia knelt on one knee before Xiao Guo. Yunxia, sect master of the Liu Tianyun sect, pays respects to the young master of the Ai family. Young Master Ye and Young Master Huai have graced the Northwest with their presence.
Failing to welcome you from afar is truly my negligence. It's fine. As the identity of the Yai family's young master was exposed, countless gazes uniformly focused on Xiao Lingling. At this moment, Xiao Lingling looked at Xiao Guo's back, her heart pounding wildly, her mind completely blank. She instantly understood everything from beginning to end, because he belonged to the EA family, standing at the very pinnacle of the world. Young master. Xiao Guo turned to look at Xiao Lingling. What are your plans? But Xiao Lingling didn't know how to answer for a moment. However, Yunxia suddenly stepped forward. Young Master Yi, could this old man take this child as a disciple? Xiao Guo was a bit surprised. Did this guy notice something? Are you willing? I am willing. Since she's willing, then let's do that. Hearing this, Yunxia was overjoyed. I will definitely treat her like my own daughter. In the next second, the system's voice chimed in. Task completed. Reward obtained. God-level talent, heart's reflection, can perceive anyone's feelings and intentions towards oneself, can temporarily copy others' talents. Hearing this, Xiao Guo's face filled with excitement. Then he looked at Kang Fing. Uncle Kang Fing, I'll leave these people to you. After that, he and Huaiyan boarded the spirit boat. Kang Feng looked at the Xiao family members and sternly said, "Take your last breath of air." As his words fell, wails of agony rang out. A moment later, there were no survivors left in the Xiao family. Xiao Lingling also left with Yunxia. On the spirit boat, Huaiyan smiled and said, "Big bro, I'm heading straight back to Jinling. You can come find me in the imperial capital when you're free." Huaiyan grinned, and then his figure disappeared into the spirit boat's teleportation array. At this time, Kang Feng boarded the spirit boat. The spirit boat set off, returning to the imperial capital. On the way, Xiao Guo went to the cultivation room. He sat cross-legged, surrounded by dozens of floating heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Xiao Guo grabbed a 9-revolution profound spirit ginseng and swallowed it directly. In an instant, majestic spiritual energy exploded within his body. The surrounding spiritual energy gathered frantically. Xiao Guo's cultivation base climbed at a terrifying speed, eventually stabilizing at the 5th level of the 4th rank. On the other side, in the Ye family, Ye Yuantian sat in the main seat and smiled as he spoke. "ZQ, that child is coming back. Get ready in a bit." Calculating the time, Xiao Guo should be back soon. Ye Zhiqiu was Xiao Guo's cousin. Back then, his father fought alongside Ye Yuantian to fend off alien beasts from another world, and unfortunately died in battle. And when Ye Zhiqiu was born, his mother also passed away due to a difficult labor. From then on, Ye Yuantian had always taken care of Ye Zhiqiu. A few years ago, Ye Zhiqiu left the Ai family to venture out into the world, and there had been no news of him for the past few years. Liu Ruyan didn't say a word, because it was Ye Zhiqiu who had led Xiao Guo astray in the first place. Right at this moment, Xiao Guo's figure appeared. "I'm back." Ye Yuantian was just about to speak, but he sensed the myriad demon mother nest inside Xiao Guo's body. So he instantly appeared beside Xiao Guo, releasing his divine sense, to frantically scan Xiao Guo's body. "What is this thing? Get the hell out." With a furious roar, he erupted with the terrifying pressure of a peak 9th rank expert. Thick spiritual energy surged into Xiao Guo's body like a tidal wave, sealing all the meridians in his body. Seeing this, Xiao Guo hurriedly shouted, "Dad, let me explain." Xiao Guo then recounted what happened in Mobei, but modified some of the facts. After hearing this, the couple stood frozen in place. They exchanged a glance, both filled with shock. Ye Yuantian withdrew the spiritual energy binding Xiao Guo. "You brat! You've really made something of yourself!" As soon as his words fell, a figure in white appeared in the Yi family. It was none other than Ye Zhiqiu, Uncle Tian, Aunt Liu, long time no see, and Xiao Guo. Ye Zhiqiu looked at Xiao Guo with a smile. "Brother Zhiqiu, long time no see." Ye Yuantian spoke enthusiastically. Come, let's sit down first." The two then began to catch up. After a while, Ye Zhiqiu suddenly spoke up. "I heard Xiao Guo is different from before. He's grown up," but Xiao Guo didn't say anything. Instead, he frowned deeply. He remembered the past, vaguely feeling that Ye Zhiqiu had intentionally led the original owner astray. Xiao Guo sensed that Ye Zhiqiu's cultivation was at the 5th rank, and his eyes couldn't help but narrow. At this time, Ye Yuantian smoothed things over. "Your brother has changed a lot recently. You haven't caused any trouble out there, have you?"
Uncle Tian, you are the current martial god. Who would dare mess with me? But Xiaoguo isn't as enthusiastic as before. Could it be he's blaming me for not taking him out to play? After Yejiqiu finished speaking, he glanced at Liu Ruyan from the corner of his eye, seemingly expecting Liu Ruyan to scold Xiaoguo. Unexpectedly, Liu Ruyan revealed a loving smile. It's normal for men to go out and have some fun. Xiaoguo, take your brother around later to get familiar with the imperial capital. Hearing this, yeah, Jiqiu's mouth stiffened. The mother who used to hate Xiaoguo going out the most was actually speaking up for him. Ye Jiqiu stared deeply at Xiaoguo. He was certain that Xiaoguo had truly changed. Not long after, Xiaoguo took Ye Jiqiu out. Want to go to the Jinzun Club? My treat. Xiaoguo nodded. Sure. Hearing this, Ye Jiqiu sneered inwardly. Sure enough, a leopard can't change its spots. My painstaking efforts over the years haven't been in vain. I put talent-destroying drugs in his drinks, took him to red light districts to neglect his cultivation, and even secretly guided him to offend major families. All of this was to completely destroy him. So why did he suddenly become so strong? He's even about to catch up to me. Thinking of this, Ye Jiqiu gritted his teeth. Xiaoguo, however, looked at Ye Jiqiu calmly. He had the new heart's reflection talent and had long sensed Ye Jiqiu's hostility towards him. Then, Xiaoguo casually asked, "Where have you been all these years?" Hearing this, Ye Jiqiu quickly suppressed his emotions. I've been fighting cult organizations in the Intefa Federation. An evil organization called Restart has appeared there. Do you want to go abroad with me to check it out? Hearing this, Xiaoguo was about to refuse, when unexpectedly the system's voice rang out. Ye Jiqiu betrayed the Hai family, becoming the leader of the Restart organization, ultimately leading to the Yai family's downfall. Issuing task, kill Ye Jiqiu and annihilate the Restart organization. Reward, Supreme Divine Ability, Sun and Moon Reversal. After hearing this, Xiaoguo's eyes instantly darkened. He couldn't understand why Ye Jiqiu wanted to harm him. After a moment of silence, Xiaoguo spoke up. That's not a bad idea. Hearing this, Ye Jiqiu's eyes lit up. He sneered inwardly. Over the years, I've been sacrificing geniuses from all over the world to rapidly improve my cultivation. Returning to Great Jia this time was precisely to take away another batch of geniuses. Originally, the target this time was the Hui families. Young master, but since you delivered yourself to my door, don't blame me. Thinking of this, Ye Jiqiu burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha! Then, let's go tell Uncle Tian and Aunt Liu later. Xiaoguo nodded faintly. Soon, the two contacted Ye Yuantian and Liu Ruyan. No problem, just stay safe. Ye Jiqiu hung up the communication and said, "Let's take a spirit boat. No need to go through all that trouble." As he spoke, the air in front of him suddenly distorted. The void tore open without any warning. Seeing this, Ye Jiqiu's pupils suddenly contracted. This is a spatial secret treasure, and its grade is definitely not low. The plan must be re-evaluated. Ye Jiqiu narrowed his eyes. On the other side, in a dark church within the Intefa Federation, a blonde man was quietly handling matters. Suddenly, the church doors were violently pushed open. An organization member walked in briskly. "Leader," Ye Jiqiu said. He found a gift and is on his way to the Federation. He said it's his younger brother, Xiaoguo. Hearing this, the blonde man was taken aback. He hurriedly sent his subordinates to look up Xiaoguo's background. Before long, the blonde man received the complete dossier. After reading the information, he burst into maniacal laughter. This Xiaoguo's talent is actually this terrifying. Ye Jiqiu wants to replace me as the leader? The only trouble is that Xiaoguo has a spatial secret treasure. Thinking of this, the blonde man suddenly turned around. A blood-red rune appeared in his palm. This void-cleansing blood curse is enough to seal spatial fluctuations within a 100-mile radius. Even if that doesn't work, I can still use Ye Jiqiu to threaten him. Their relationship in the past was exceptionally good. At this moment, on a stretch of coastline, Ye Jiqiu sneered inwardly. This place is less than 20 kilometers from the church. Later, I'll lure Xiaoguo inside. Taking him down will be a piece of cake. Thinking of this, Ye Jiqiu spoke up. I just received news that there's cult activity nearby. I need to go check it out. You go wander around by yourself first. Hearing this, Xiaoguo nodded. After speaking, Ye Jiqiu quickly left.
Xiaoguo, however, sneered. He knew Ye Zhiqiu was going to meet up with the cult organization, but Xiaoguo didn't plan to follow him. He looked at a club in the distance and smiled. Let me get a taste of this exotic flavor. With that, Xiaoguo strode into the club. Soon, he entered a room. The room was filled with a strange fragrance. At this time, a waitress walked over gracefully and began to massage Xiaoguo. Not long after, Xiaoguo slowly fell asleep. The waitress's expression turned gloomy. "Come with me, young Master Ye," she said, as she reached out to grab Xiaoguo. Unexpectedly, Xiaoguo suddenly grabbed her hand. Using knockout drops is too low class. Hearing this, the waitress's eyes turned cold and killing intent surged. Her 4th rank, 6th level cultivation explosively erupted. However, before she could even move, Xiaoguo sent her flying with a single punch. She crashed heavily against the wall. The waitress's eyes darkened. She realized she was absolutely no match for Xiaoguo. So, she fled without hesitation. Seeing this, Xiaoguo instantly followed. On the other side, inside the church, Ye Zhiqiu had already arrived. The blond man was preparing for the sacrifice. Suddenly, a shrill scream pierced the silence. The church doors were violently smashed open. The waitress rushed into the church, her face filled with terror. Save me, however. In the next second, the waitress's body suddenly exploded. From the bloody mist, Xiaoguo walked out holding a longsword. I originally didn't want you to know the truth, but since it's come to this, I have no choice but to painfully end you. Alright, I get it. Can I ask why? Ye Zhiqiu's brows suddenly furrowed. He didn't see the expected expression of shock and pain, but he still sneered because, I am also a member of the cult, and the target this time is you. As his words fell, Ye Zhiqiu suddenly erupted, releasing his 5th rank cultivation without reservation. Unexpectedly, Xiaoguo's figure suddenly vanished, instantly grabbing Ye Zhiqiu by the throat. Ye Zhiqiu's body went stiff, unable to move. His eyes were filled with disbelief. However, before he could struggle, a violent surge of lightning power erupted. Ye Zhiqiu let out a miserable scream, as his entire body was swallowed by lightning. Then, he was ruthlessly thrown away. Right at this moment, a 5th rank core member rushed over. Ye Zhiqiu had also struggled to his feet. The two didn't hesitate at all, attacking simultaneously. Unexpectedly, with a raise of his hand, Xiaoguo blasted both of them away. Seeing this, the core member growled, "Help me stall him!" Hearing this, Ye Zhiqiu gritted his teeth and braced himself, charging at Xiaoguo once again. The core member took the opportunity to activate a divine ability, invading Xiaoguo's Dantian, attempting to destroy his sea of qi. However, the moment he probed into Xiaoguo's Dantian, a pair of scarlet eyes slowly opened. The core member instantly bled from his 7 orifices, and his mind directly collapsed. In the outside world, Ye Zhiqiu was once again blasted away by Xiaoguo. Ye Zhiqiu's sternum was completely shattered, and his face was deathly pale. "I'm your brother. You can't kill me." Hearing this, Xiaoguo paused his steps. Right at this moment, the core member appeared behind Ye Zhiqiu, tightly gripping his neck. "Don't come any closer, otherwise I'll kill him." At this moment, Ye Zhiqiu was both shocked and furious. The core member held him hostage, continuously spouting information. They had dug up about the two's past. Unexpectedly, Xiaoguo sneered. "Then I really must thank him properly." With that, the Supreme Emperor's sword appeared in Xiaoguo's hand. Then, a dazzling golden light suddenly tore through the sky. Under the core member's dumbfounded gaze, Ye Zhiqiu's body was slashed apart and exploded. Subsequently, the sky suddenly darkened. A massive, sky-blotting hand materialized out of thin air, containing world-destroying pressure, and slowly pressed down. It was exactly Xiaoguo's hand of heaven. Accompanied by an earth-shattering boom, the entire church was instantly annihilated. The earth cracked open, and dust billowed into the sky. At this time, in the underground space of the church, dozens of black-robed figures surrounded a blood-red altar. Many unconscious geniuses were bound to the altar. The blond man stood at the highest point of the altar, waiting for the sacrifice to be completed. He raised his scepter high, just about to order the start of the ritual. Suddenly, a massive hand appeared out of thin air and viciously slammed down towards the altar. The blond man roared furiously, swinging his staff. "Who goes there?" The scepter erupted with a blinding black light, forcefully blocking the strike. The shockwave from the energy collision swept through the entire underground space. The black-robed figures on the altar were all knocked back into the dust. Xiaoguo stepped through the void. "The one here to collect your lives." Hearing this, the blond man's eyes turned gloomy. It seems I underestimated you, but your act of throwing yourself into the net is truly laughable. As soon as his words fell, the surrounding black-robed figures all stepped forward. Every single one of them had an aura no weaker than the 4th rank. The blonde man looked at Xiao Guo. This place has the protection of God. Any secret treasures or spiritual artifacts will be restricted. Are you scared now? Xiao Guo didn't say a word. He merely swung his sword lightly. An aura violent to the extreme erupted. Sword energy, entwined with lightning and golden light, flew towards the black-robed cultists. Wherever the sword light passed, flesh and blood flew everywhere. The blonde man was instantly dumbfounded. He immediately realized Xiao Guo's formidable strength, so he abruptly stood up, preparing to attack. However, a cyan lamp suddenly lit up between Xiao Guo's brows. Heart's reflection. A soft light instantly enveloped the entire church. The blonde man's expression changed drastically. He found that his talent had disappeared, but soon he grinned hideously again. Even without my talent, I can still kill you. With that said, the blonde man formed hand seals, and a blood-red divine ability blasted towards Xiao Guo. Unexpectedly, in the next second, the church's dome was split open. The laws of the heavenly Tao descended as a curtain of light, directly annihilating the blood-red divine ability. Seeing this, the blonde man's voice distorted for the first time. This is the protection of the heavenly Tao. How is this possible? Seeing that things were going south, the blonde man frantically rushed towards the altar, chanting an ancient incantation. The geniuses on the altar let out shrill, miserable screams. At the same time, their flesh and blood rapidly melted away, turning into white bones. The blonde man's power instantly surged. He turned around with a maniacal laugh. Even if I die, I'm dragging you down to hell with me. As his words fell, the blonde man was enveloped in a blood-red aura, and even his pupils turned into a bloody light. He burned his life force, unleashing his strongest strike, and charged at Xiao Guo. The blood-red figure violently collided with Xiao Guo, but Xiao Guo merely extended one hand and steadily caught the attack. The shockwave generated by the collision erupted, shattering all the rock walls within a 100-meter radius into powder. The blonde man's eyes were filled with disbelief. I possess God-given power. This is impossible. Xiao Guo suddenly started laughing. What kind of joke is this? With that, Xiao Guo raised his hand. In the blink of an eye, the myriad demon mother nest descended. A heartbeat sounding like war drums echoed through heaven and earth until the entire true form of the myriad demon mother nest manifested. Seeing this, the blonde man screamed hysterically, "What the hell is this? I don't believe it! I don't believe it!" Xiao Guo looked at him, sighed, and swung his sword, about to cleave the blonde man in two. Right at this moment, the entire altar ruin suddenly trembled violently. The space before them shattered, and a suffocating pressure emerged. Countless streams of black mist spewed out, forming a giant face. Then an icy voice rang out, "An ant dares to kill my believer?" However, Xiao Guo spoke calmly, "So you're the spirit-devouring demon god?" The spirit-devouring demon god was clearly taken aback. "Since you know my name, submit to me. I can let you command all my believers." Xiao Guo looked up and sneered. "If your true body descended, I might actually be a bit wary, but right now, you're just a mass of consciousness. What gives you the right to order me around?" As his words fell, Xiao Guo swung his sword. The blonde man was instantly decapitated. Seeing this, the spirit-devouring demon god was enraged. "Aunt, you're courting death. I gave you a chance." Xiao Guo frowned, just about to raise his sword. In the next second, as if sensing something, he said, "Are you sure you can kill me?" Hearing this, the spirit-devouring demon god laughed heartily. "Crushing you is like crushing an ant!" Unexpectedly, a massive boom, as if splitting heaven and earth, suddenly exploded. "You dare touch my Yuantian's son?" In an instant, countless spatial fragments fell like rain. Yuantian shattered the void and arrived. With every step he took, the laws of heaven and earth trembled and resonated. Seeing this, the spirit-devouring demon god's expression stiffened. "You're a martial god." Without the slightest hesitation, it instantly shrank into a thin line, fleeing towards a spatial rift. However, Yuantian coldly snorted and casually waved his hand. Countless purple-gold spears condensed out of thin air, entwined with lightning, piercing through time and space. Following the consciousness, they directly injured the spirit-devouring demon god's true body.
The spirit-devouring demon god let out a shrill, miserable howl. It was pinned in the void by the spears slowly being burned into nothingness. A moment later, the black mist dissipated and the sky returned to clarity. At this time, the system's voice chimed in. Task completed. Obtained, sun and moon reversal. Can switch between two god-level domains to obliterate opponents. Before Xiao Guo could even get excited, Ye Yuantian's figure had already descended. He stood with his hands behind his back, a trace of pain actually flashing in his eyes. I know everything about Ye Zhiqiu. The Ye family doesn't need such a traitor. It's my fault for not raising him well. Xiao Guo's breath hitched. So father knew everything all along. Could it be he followed me the whole way? Suddenly, Ye Yuantian frowned. It seems we have guests. As his words fell, two streaks of holy light lit up the horizon. In an instant, Yi Si, one of the 8 great knight commanders of the Holy Church, appeared, accompanied by a knight. The knight looked at Ye Yuantian and Xiao Guo, and angrily rebuked, "Insolent! How dare you not kneel upon seeing Lord Yi Si?" However, after Ye Si got a clear look at Ye Yuantian's face, his expression changed drastically. At this time, Ye Yuantian chuckled lightly. "Little Yi Si, you've grown bold. Tell your pope to get his ass out here." With that, an invisible pressure pressed down like a collapsing sky. The knight beside Yi Si instantly exploded into a bloody mist. Seeing this, Yi Si, without any hesitation, knelt on one knee. I didn't know the patriarch and young master of great Jiazi family had arrived in person. Please forgive my sins. At this moment, cold sweat poured down Yi Si's face. Earlier, the Pope had sensed unusual aura fluctuations, so he sent him to investigate. Who would have thought he'd run into these two from the Ai family? Ye Yuantian spoke calmly. Your level is too low. I don't blame you. But for the Pope to not even know a demon god appeared in his own backyard, I think he's truly gotten old. Hearing this, Yi Si suddenly looked up, instantly understanding the source of those strange fluctuations. Thank you, Patriarch Yi, for lending a hand. Ye Yuantian replied indifferently, as long as you know, but I don't have time to play with you guys anymore. With that, Ye Yuantian raised his hand. The space immediately distorted. Following that, Ye Yuantian and Xiao Guo vanished from their spots. Only then did Yi Si let out a long sigh of relief. He immediately reported the situation here to the Pope. Meanwhile, on the other side, under the clear, boundless sky of Great Xia, Bai Fengshui was riding a spirit boat heading towards the imperial capital. She crossed her arms over her chest, gazing into the distance. He clearly promised to come find me, but it's been so long and there's still no sign of him. Now this lady has to take the initiative. Right at this moment, the clouds in the distance churned, and another spirit boat tore through the air, moving at extreme speed. Bai Fengshui looked up. Standing on the spirit boat was a burly man. It was none other than the eldest son of the Gao family, Gao Yuan. You actually came out of seclusion, haven't seen you in a few years, and you're already at the mid-stage of the 4th rank. As soon as I came out of seclusion, I heard that my 2 brothers were publicly humiliated by Xiao Guo. Right now, I'm heading to the Wei family to seek justice. Hearing this, Bai Fengshui took a step forward, her eyes as cold as ice. I'm going to find Xiao Guo to get married. Either you get lost or I'll beat you until you get lost. Hearing this, Gao Yuan laughed out of extreme anger. Very well. Let me see how much you've improved over these past few years. With that, he suddenly stepped forward, and his 5th rank, mid-stage terrifying pressure explosively erupted. The entire sky trembled. A moment later, amidst the flashing blades and sword shadows, Bai Fengshui knelt on one knee on the spirit boat's deck. A mouthful of fresh blood flowed from her mouth. Her left shoulder had been pierced through. But Gao Yuan wasn't feeling much better either. His right hand was trembling non-stop, and even his internal organs were eroded by cold energy. Gao Yuan forcefully suppressed his churning vitality and feigned a relaxed tone. The genius of the Bai family is nothing more than this. With that, he turned around and steered his spirit boat, speeding towards the imperial capital. Xiao Guo will become my defeated opponent, and you can only watch helplessly as it happens. Hearing this, Bai Fengshui slowly stood up. You are far inferior to Xiao Guo. On the other side, ripples suddenly appeared in the space above the Ia family. Ye Yuantian and Xiao Guo appeared out of thin air. Your uncle Bai sent a message saying, Bai Fengshui is coming to find you. Calculating the time, she should be arriving soon. What is she coming here for? Ye Yuantian gave Xiao Guo a meaningful look. Handle it yourself. Then, his figure vanished from the spot, leaving Xiao Guo standing there in a daze. Right at this moment, a spirit boat appeared on the horizon. Xiao Guo, get your ass out here! Hearing this, Xiao Guo narrowed his eyes. It's not Bai Feng Shui. I am the eldest son of the Gao family, Gao Yuan. I've come today specifically to seek justice for my two younger brothers, Xiao Guo. Then suddenly realized, as fragments of memory regarding Gao Yuan flashed through his mind. Gao Yuan possessed an incredibly powerful talent for the sword. He had once fought 1 against 4 at the Sword Discourse Assembly, without falling into a disadvantage. While Xiao Guo was still reminiscing, "Are you too scared to speak? That Bai family girl even tried to stop me for you. But I don't show any tender affection for women." Hearing this, Xiao Guo narrowed his eyes. He hadn't expected that Bai Feng Shui would stand up for him. Once I deal with this trouble in front of me, I'll have to thank her properly. At this time, on the Ai family's stargazing platform, Liu Ruyan's eyes were filled with worry. Can Xiao Guo handle this? That's a mid-stage 5th rank expert. However, Ye Yuantian stood with his hands behind his back, a smile playing on his lips. Just watch. Since Xiao Guo hadn't spoken for a while, Gao Yuan impatiently drew his long sword. Today, I will seek justice for my brothers. The Supreme Emperor's sword appeared in Xiao Guo's hand. Good sword. It's a pity its master is too much of a trash. I won't bully you either. I'll let you have 3 moves. What I'm best at is making you people realize the gap between us. Hearing this, Xiao Guo's lips curled up slightly. What I'm best at is shattering the pride of you so-called geniuses. With that, Xiao Guo swung his sword. In an instant, heaven and earth suddenly lost their color. A pitch-black sword beam spanning heaven and earth tore through the sky. Gao Yuan's blood instantly froze. In a flash, the ancient rainbow sword in his hand automatically protected its master, letting out a sword cry. Gao Yuan hurriedly executed the Gao family's ultimate technique. 9 revolutions of the cold star. In an instant, layers upon layers of ice crystal sword wheels formed a shield in front of him. However, the sword key had already arrived, easily shattering the shield. Gao Yuan wildly spewed blood, instantly flying backward. Now, who should realize the gap? This is impossible. Gao Yuan hastily stabilized his figure and let out a furious roar. He stared fixedly at the black sword in Xiao Guo's hand. A weakling relying on a divine weapon. My sword is not dull either. Before his words even fell, a heaven-shaking sword intent suddenly erupted around Gao Yuan. 7 sword dragons roared as they lunged at the Supreme Emperor's sword. Unexpectedly, the Supreme Emperor's sword merely let out a soft hum and instantly shattered the sword dragons. Gao Yuan's smile instantly froze. Your sword is trash, and you are trash too. With that, a terrifying pressure crashed down. The ancient rainbow sword instantly shattered. In the next second, the world before Gao Yuan's eyes vanished, leaving only a massive bright moon. And in the center of that moon wheel, Xiao Guo stood with his hands behind his back. Gao Yuan horrifyingly discovered the sluggishness of his body and mind. He couldn't even activate his domain. In an instant, countless rays of moonlight pierced through his body, each carrying a powerful force that distorted the rules. His screams echoed through the clouds. Gao Yuan's sword Dao comprehension, cultivated bitterly over many years, was rapidly draining away. It was like an eraser was wiping away his life. Right at this moment, Ye Yuantian descended from the sky. That's enough, Xiao Guo. Hearing this, Xiao Guo retracted his divine ability. Subsequently, the bright moon slowly dissipated. At this time, Gao Yuan's broken body plummeted. Why did I come to the Yi family? Why? Ye Yuantian shook his head helplessly. I have to wipe this brat's ass again.